Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Media Buffering Podcast. I'm here with Slim Master Matthew
Yo, yo, yo.
and Estefano Esquire the Third.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad that you said my full name. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very grateful for it.
I
It's
like to
very
make
kind
sure.
of you to just give me that kindness. My proper introduction.
Yeah, I like to make sure that everyone knows how prestigious you are.
Yeah. Of course, of
And how
course.
much of a Slim Master Matthew is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I really appreciate our titles being addressed.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're here today. Our topic is talking about the things that we never really finished in media. But before we get on to that, we have I'd like to say succinct news section, but I actually don't know if that's true.
It's relatively succinct. We just gotta get through this first part. That is we're gonna speed run a little bit. We've had a couple award shows this past week. So we'll be talking about the Emmys, and we will be talking about the VMAs. More so the Emmys, because the VMAs, there's a lot that I just really didn't wanna mention because there's so many different music genres, so many different awards. So we'll just talk about the highlights of both. So first on to the Emmys. Let's just talk about a lot of the stuff that swept. I don't know if you guys have seen Ted Lasso. I believe Ted Lasso is on Apple Plus or whatever Apple's service. Ted Lasso swept quite a bit. It won Best Comedy Series. It won Best Lead Actor, both supporting actor and supporting actress, guest actress, and then it also won the just Best General Comedy Casting. So it effectively swept the entire comedy category. You also had Queen's Gambit, which was very big last year, was the chess show. I don't know if you guys saw that. I heard a lot about it. That's probably the thing I've heard the most about recently.
Yeah, I
That
wanted to watch it.
yeah, that won Best Casting. It won Limited Series Cinematography for multi-camera because the Emmys has a lot of distinction. So there's single camera and multi-camera. So it won Best Limited Series Cinematography for multi-camera, period costumes, period makeup, and Limited Series Music Composition. Uh, and it is in this case that I am incredibly positive that Loki missed the cutoff date because if Loki did not win music composition, what are we doing here? I know, Matt, you have not seen Loki, but Quinn and I have, and the music in that show is phenomenal. Probably some of the best I've heard in the MCU.
So what are you saying? If it doesn't win next year, we riot?
I'm saying if it doesn't get nominated next year, we riot. Now, because who knows what's going to come out? Perhaps something better will come out in the next year, but it should at least be nominated, is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
The other one is The Crown. I don't know if you guys that's like the all the British stuff, all of the royalty.
Yeah, I think my
parents
mom
watch it.
watches that one.
Yeah. I was like, I've seen your parents watching that a few
The
times.
Crown swept a lot in the drama category. Lead and supporting roles for actor and actress. It won the episode directing and writing with its specific episode titled War. So I don't watch the show, but that was the episode that won both of those. Best drama casting, which makes sense if it won all of the drama actor and actresses awards. Best cinematography for single camera hour because they also divide it up by how long the episodes are. So for hour, it won that. So I think The Crown, looking through the list, The Crown won the most. A lot of these also won a bunch of other stuff like editing, sound editing. But if you really care about those, I would recommend going to the Emmys website, not any of the sites that say, here are the Emmy winners, because they only talk about the ones that won the night of. And since the Emmys are so big, they have extra awards that they announce online ahead of time. Then we have for smaller things that some of us might be fans of. For Variety Special pre-recorded, Hamilton won, which is where I have a lot of mixed feelings because Hamilton was nominated in the first place. I get that it is a pre-recorded kind of special, but it's the recording of a musical. So is that really? I felt very mixed on how I felt about how that should qualify. I might be a bit biased because Inside was nominated in the same category and Inside did lose, so that kind of, peeved me a little bit. But I I was a bit confused whenever I saw the the nominations in the first place because you have Lin Manuel Miranda, David Diggs, all of them were nominated in Best Actor categories, and I'm like, are we? Is that right? Or they should? I'm not saying they did terribly. They were also nominated at the Tonys for a reason, but
Yeah.
it just seemed a bit odd that that musical was nominated. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that whole thing because that was a bit odd to me when I first saw it. I know you're more passionate about musicals, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it technically meets all the criteria. I mean, it feels weird just because of how long standing it's been. Like it's not like a new thing per se, but I mean, technically it makes it, so
I
by
remember
technicality it wins.
I remember whenever it came out on Disney Plus, and I think it was Game Theory did a thing where they were talking about how it could work as one of those award shows, or it would go to one of those award shows. It was very possible it could, and a lot of people were complaining, saying that, oh no, it can't, it can't, it can't. And then some people were saying, well, it definitely should be allowed to because it's so well made. I liked it, but I don't really watch those award shows, so I don't really take any stock in what they say.
That's fair. Speaking of Inside, it did win the other three things as far as I could tell that it was nominated for. It might have been nominated for other stuff, but again, there's just so many different categories.
Yeah.
So it won Best Directing for a Variety Special, Best Writing for a Variety Special, and Best Music Direction for a Variety Special. For a Variety Special. There's one other thing it did not win. I'll get to that, and I think it might have been snubbed just a little bit. But
What music?
yes, WandaVision was nominated for a lot of stuff. It was nominated for actress. I think it was nominated for show even. A lot of people were really pushing for it to win. I think uh, the actress, I don't do you guys remember the actress's name who plays Wanda?
One of the Olsen twins,
Yeah, I
right?
was gonna
Is
say.
it's Elizabeth Olsen. I think Elizabeth Olsen definitely was a contender. I mean, she basically played several different, eras of television very, very well.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
She was excellent. It didn't win too much, but it did win some of the more obvious ones, I would argue. It won production design for half hour length. It won fantasy sci fi costumes, which I think is a little bit cheating considering that they're also period costumes because it is a period piece for a solid percentage of that show. But whatever, lets it win. And it won original music and lyrics, which I would assume is based off of the theme songs that they have in every single
Oh
episode,
yeah, those are
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good.
and Agatha all along.
Agatha all along.
But I still think Inside should have taken that one personally. Though I'm not mad because I also do like WandaVision, and if it does get, credit where credit is due,
Yeah.
that's solid.
In the end, a good show won.
Yeah, in the end, a good show won. So
I
I'm
do
not.
feel like you're probably right about the Loki thing being after the cutoff, because I honestly would prefer the Loki music to WandaVision.
Well, yeah, but this is like the lyrical stuff, not like music.
Oh, well, I thought you were talking about the intros and stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's like the intros with music, like all the theme songs
Oh,
that they
Yeah.
had.
okay. I thought you
That's
were
what
talking
they were
about
talking about.
the score.
Because
Yeah.
they have like the opening episode songs for each genre.
Oh yeah. That's not what I'm thinking of then. Yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
was
how they
wrong.
had all the different, like they had the theme song that was very Malcolm in the Middle-y and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that with the
Yeah.
kids talking.
I remember now. Yeah. Let's talk about the Malcolm in the Middle theme song. Let's get way off topic.
Mandalorian won cinematography, single camera, and half hour. It won prosthetics, obviously. It won dramatic series music composition because it's considered a drama.
Nice.
So that sounds pretty good. The the composer for Mandalorian is very, very good in everything he does. Visual effects, obviously, stunt coordination, and stunt performance. Shout out to the Emmys for actually giving stunts a category, unlike the Oscars. And I know it won a whole bunch of sound editing and other editing stuff, but again, I'm leaving that off here. Finally, we have a couple just random ones that I thought were interesting to mention. variety talk series. Last week tonight with John Oliver won for like the 6th year in a row. For competition, RuPaul's Drag Race won, which again I think is a streak they've been on, which good
Yeah.
for them, that representation. For structured reality program, Queer Eye won. For unstructured reality program, RuPaul has another show that won there. For guest actor in a comedy series, I just thought this was funny. Dave Chappelle won for his SNL hosting, which fair enough. Just give
All
Dave
right.
Chappelle more things.
Yeah.
He's great. And then finally, I have not watched this, though I've heard really good things about it. Animated series, I might mispronounce his name, but Gendy Tartovsky. He has a show called Primal. It's an animated show. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and that won Best Animated Series. So I feel like I might actually look into it more because I've seen screenshots of the animation style and it looks really, really interesting. It's very stylized. It kind of looks like a hybrid between kind of new age art. If you've seen like the art style of the new He-Man show,
Yeah. Gendy Tartovsky is the guy that did Samurai Jack and
yeah,
the Clone War 2003 Clone Wars.
yeah, it's very Samurai Jacky, but it has like
Samurai Jackie.
yeah, the art style, the art style is very similar to that, but it also has a hint of like kind of gives me vibes of cave paintings as well, which I mean I guess it makes sense because it's primal, so
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
that era of humanity, even though they're also with dinosaurs, so that's not entirely accurate. But I've heard that show is very, very good. All of the other like cartoons are the like racy comedy shows. I know South Park was nominated in the same category. So I think it's very interesting that a more dramatic, more serious, as far as I know, it's more serious show one.
You're saying that it's people with dinosaurs and it's just supposed to be like a period sort of drama.
Kind of. It's like I have
So
not watched it, so I cannot.
so is it just like the grittier reboot of the Flintstones?
I guess so. I guess so. It's gritty Flintstones.
Okay, good to know. I might look into it then.
That's what got
That's
the
what
soldier.
got me into it. Yeah, yeah,
Are
yeah.
you that big of a fan of the Flintstones?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Hey Bonnie, hey Bonnie, I'm about to get my head cut off.
And now the VMAs, I went through the list of all of the performances because I knew I wanted to watch Lil Nas X's performance, which was very, very good. I will give credit where credit is due. Jack Harlow did a really good job on stage. He's the one who has the extra verse in Industry Baby, and he sold it on stage. And also, he had some nice little bromance going on with Nas X on stage as well. That being said, that was the only performance that really interested me. I looked at the playlist and I was like, I don't really care about any of these other people. I don't mind Ed Sheeran, but I don't like the song that he performed that much, so I did not listen to it. But the big winners of the night, I'm not gonna name the like I mentioned before, I'm not gonna name the specific song of pop, song of rock, like all of those. I'm not really gonna name. Again, you can
Schoolhouse Rock.
you can look those up on Wikipedia or the website if that's stuff that you're interested in. Video of the year went to Lil Nas X for Montero, Call Me by Your Name.
Nice.
Makes sense to me. Song of the year went to Olivia Rodrigo for Driver's License, which was everywhere whenever it came out in the middle of last year, and honestly, it's pretty decent. Uh, both of those awards had WAP as nominees. I would just like to point out, so that made me laugh a lot. I don't think it would have been surprising if WAP was Song of the Year. I feel like had Driver's License not come out, WAP would have been Song of the Year, and that would have been very, very funny. Artist of the Year is Justin Bieber, which I don't know why. He had an album come out last year. I listened to some of it. It wasn't great, I wouldn't say. But hey, credit to him. He hasn't won before, I don't think so. Whatever works for him. Best new artist is Olivia Rodrigo, and I'm gonna give you guys a guess. Who do you think won Group of the Year?
Group.
Group.
Um. BTS.
Yep.
I was gonna say that
BTS.
Korean band that I
Yes.
don't know anything about.
That Korean band.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
see,
is
see.
that not a band? What is it?
It's a boy band.
Quentin
Okay,
isn't
so it's a
really.
band.
Quentin
There's a
isn't
difference.
really in
What's
tune.
that second word, Matt?
Boy.
Boy. That's what it is.
Tell me, is One Direction and I was gonna say Panic at the Disco, but I think Panic at the Disco has become purely Brennan Urie.
I feel like it
What's your
always
point?
was.
What are you making, Matt? What's the point?
Maroon 5 versus One Direction. Are those this like, that's the difference between a boy band.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but band is in the word. So if I say band, the
Rubber
band
band?
of merry men,
What's the
with
second
Robin
word?
Hood.
What's the second word in rubber band?
It's a band, is it not?
Fair
I'm
enough.
right.
But yeah, Quentin and I were talking before this, and I was saying, and I had a moment of hesitation where I was like, Quentin doesn't know modern music, but then I'm like,
I know modern
people,
music. I don't know
people.
that side of it.
Well, yeah. You know more R&B stuff and rap stuff.
The most popular side?
What?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
most po-
But
Yeah, I'm more
I was
underground.
hesitant
Yeah,
for a
that's what I
moment.
am.
I was hesitant for a moment because I was gonna say that it was very easy to guess who Group of the Year was. I had a moment of hesitation, and I'm like, BTS is so big. Quentin might not even know what they're called, but he'll know it was
Yeah,
BTS.
I knew the Korean band.
They have a McDonald's meal, bro.
Say
Of
something,
course,
Matt.
they were band of the Group of the Year. They have a McDonald's meal. What? Of course.
I mean, who was that guy who was on Fortnite and he had the McDonald's clothesline?
Oh yeah. Oh, clothesline. I didn't even know
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
one.
it was a clothesline. It was
Oh,
like
man,
a whole
what
thing.
Was his
Travis
name?
Scott?
Travis Scott. I was like, that's.
I was thinking
That's
of
a
the Travis
smart
Scott
move.
meal.
I
I'll
feel like
say.
Travis Scott might have been the contender of Artist of the Year that year for that reason.
Oh man,
I don't
that
know if he
was-
won, but I don't really, check into the VMAs that much.
So
but
obviously,
BTS Fortnite music video win?
so
imagine.
so obviously, what I'm saying here is that the judge of what is the best is its connection to McDonald's. If the Golden Arches are anywhere near the band,
I never
then you
said
know they're
best.
the best.
I was just thinking most popular.
Yes, that's what Quentin said.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Next up, we have a bit more serious news. Some big updates from Blizzard have occurred this week. They've been getting really, really mollywopped by everyone. I told them ahead of time that I was gonna say mollywopped.
Quentin has never heard the term mollywopped until
He
this
didn't
day.
believe
Is
me.
this some sort of Bristol thing? Like
You're going to get
gotta
mollywopped.
get mollywopped.
But yeah,
You absolute ledge.
Blizzard has been getting destroyed recently thanks to its allegations. I will still say, even though I believe them, its allegations of sexual misconduct and just general misconduct and misogyny and all that sort of stuff. So just to go through how their week or 2 weeks have gone, workers decided to sue Blizzard for intimidation and for union busting. Their chief legal officer quit. The executive producer of Overwatch quit. The SEC, or Security and Exchange Commission, which is part of the U.S. government, is suing them for everything and is now looking into the former CEO and looking through a whole bunch of emails to see how much the higher ups knew. However, just as a heads up for those who don't really know, that's less for the victims and more so for everyone who's invested in the company and stockholders and stuff like that. That's more for them.
Public image and stuff.
Yeah, that's more for them than everyone else. However, they'd still lose money, so whatever it is. And then finally, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has been examining them since last year, and we don't know if the results of that examination are going to come out, but it seems like Blizzard's going to have to pay a hefty settlement at least. So Blizzard, not in the best state right now. People are leaving left and right. Everyone, including their own employees, are trying to get money out of them. They deserve it. I'd
They
say.
are getting mollywopped.
I like how that
You
word
old
is what
man.
you take out of all of this.
I was just holding that in my head the entire time. Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't hear any of it.
Well. If it isn't the consequences of my actions.
But yeah,
If it isn't the bridge I said I'd cross when I got to it.
we haven't really talked about the Blizzard stuff that much. I don't think we really have to. It's pretty common knowledge at this point, and honestly, it's very, very bad, and I don't know if we really want to bring the mood down too much. But the entire situation going on at Blizzard is very, very concerning. I will say one of the interesting things I saw, though, was there were a lot of employees who have actively taken a stance against Blizzard, but are telling people that maybe it's not the best idea to boycott their things because there are a lot of people who have been discriminated against, men, women of all races and ethnicities and backgrounds and all that sort of thing, who are discriminated against and have still been working hard on those projects. So
Yeah, you don't
to
want to
maybe
burn it all
not,
down.
yeah, maybe not boycott it because you still want to support those people who are working at the company. That's always kind of been my stance on things. Is there are people who worked on the thing that you might hate that are also suffering and they still worked hard on it. Maybe don't go too hard on them. So that I just wanted to bring that up. Just I thought that was a very good sentiment, and a lot of people have kind of been sharing that as well. The people who work there and people who don't. But regardless, it's been interesting to watch the situation with Blizzard. Is basically the Californian government and now the basic U.S. government are taking a lot of action against them. I think it's very well deserved, and I'm glad that this situation is getting a lot of attention. Hopefully, worst. I mean, as sad as it may sound, hopefully this will scare a lot of companies into kind of taking more action on what's going on. Because I'm sure plenty of other companies have this sort of situation. I mean,
Almost definitely.
Ubisoft got accused. Was it Ubisoft or
Yeah,
EA?
it was Ubisoft last
Yeah.
year or 2 years ago, something like that. And then it was like a week before they were gonna do a announcement video or something like that. And so they just sort of said, "Oh, we're handling it," and that was what they said right before they did their big announcement of games. And at the very end of the presentation they did on games, because it was an online presentation, they had the CEO guy come out and be like, "Hey, we're working on it."
Yeah, because that shows such good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Such
that's
such a
what
good
Blizzard
Very
does with
feedback.
reassuring.
everything too. The guy comes out and is like, "Oh, well, like the whole Blitzchung thing." Whenever that guy said, freedom for Hong Kong or something like that, and Blizzard cut him out of esports, and they came out and were like, "Oh, we're sorry." That's it.
Oh yeah, I
we're not
do
gonna take it
remember
back.
that.
We're
There
sorry
was
though.
so much controversy around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
And then people started using May as an icon for that
The
movement.
yeah, for
mascot
freedom
for
of Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah. That Blizzard is very bad at making decisions. Just not good. Speaking of big companies and lawsuits though, Disney and Marvel are currently going through something right now. This news broke today as I was kind of scrolling through Reddit and Twitter, and I figured I would just add it because it was interesting and kind of ties into a conversation we had last week. Currently, the estates of Steve Ditko and Stan Lee. You calm yourself, Matt.
I thought you said something else.
I know you thought I said something else when I said Ditko, but I did not.
Matt, what?
I never heard that name. I don't.
But the estates of Steve Ditko
Sounds
and
like you're making a
Stan
legal
Lee,
argument.
so their
I've
families
never heard that name in my life.
are effectively going through a lawsuit with Marvel and to that extent Disney right now in terms of the characters that they have and whether or not they truly own them. Marvel will likely not lose. However, I know a lot of people are talking about this just due to intrigue because theoretically, if they were to lose, Spider Man would no longer be owned by Marvel in June of 2023. They could use him until that point and then he'd go back to the estate. Other characters that are included in this situation are Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Thor, Ant Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, plenty of other ones that are kind of smaller or bigger. I think Falcon is in there as well. But there's a lot of characters that these people have created, and their families are kind of trying to get more money. I don't knock the families for that because I'm pretty sure the families know how this is going to work. I feel like the estates are more so trying to get money that they feel the estate deserves for their relatives' contributions to Marvel, more so than actually trying to get the characters back because what are they going to do? And honestly, I feel like that would be a very, very bad look for those estates in the first place. What, they take Spider Man back and no one can make Spider Man movies or games anymore? So I feel like this is just a grab for money, and very likely Marvel will win by just saying, hey, here's a settlement, and then they take the money and leave.
Wouldn't that be funny though if Disney had a vested interest in cutting down on copyright laws to make it so that there was less time until they can go into the public domain?
That's what I thought the story was at first until I looked into it. I thought it was them trying to keep the Avengers characters from going into the public domain. But then I looked into it and I'm like, oh no, it's an argue with the estates. This has happened before. I believe it was I can't remember his name. It was another Marvel writer, and ultimately it was decided that that could not go through because that person was doing contracted work by Marvel, so Marvel owned the character because it was work. It's the same conversation that we had last week of, do the people who created the characters deserve money when they're used in movies?
Yeah.
It was that same situation. I know the people who are the person who is representing Steve Ditko's estate did a similar. You need to stop, Matt. Did
What?
a He keeps making faces every time I say Ditko, and it's really really funny. He just can't get over the word. He can't.
I didn't say anything. All right.
But I know the person. I know that the person who is helping that family out went through a similar case with Superman, and knowing that I just said Superman and how big Superman is, and the fact that Superman is still a character at DC, I'm sure you can guess how that case turned out.
Right.
Very similarly. I just thought it was an interesting thing to bring up considering our conversation last week. And it was very big news today. Twitter was blowing up as is always. Though there were people who are of the same mindset of me in that this isn't really big news. It happens pretty frequently. They are probably just trying to get that settlement money. And I hope they do because, I mean, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko are huge, huge in terms of how much they've affected Marvel. More so than a lot of the names we were mentioning last week in terms of people who get money. I mean, just look at Stan Lee. He was big enough that he got a cameo in every single Marvel movie until his unfortunate death. So I do hope these families get money. I highly doubt worst case scenario will ever happen, though everyone's freaking out about, man, if Steve Ditko wins and we lose Spider-Man, I'm a riot. And it's like, y'all need to chill.
As if
Get me
money is really an
Spider-Man.
object for Disney.
Yeah, as if money's an object for Disney. And I think it's kind of ignorant to ignore kind of why the thing is happening in the first place. They're very much being the stereotypical, let's support the corporation because I like what the corporation does for me, which I sometimes toe that line, but in this situation it's very clear to me that I know who is in the right here. I would not enjoy if the estates got the characters back, but I would like them to get the settlement, which, like I said, pretty sure that's what they're going for. I
Yeah.
doubt they expect to win.
Okay. That was the end of that story, right?
Yeah.
Is the next one what I think it is? I just want to say before we get into that, this is the funniest thing in the world. It shouldn't be big, but it's huge, and I love it. What are we talking about?
Quentin and I watched this live, and we could not fathom what we were looking at. To date this episode a little bit, it won't be too long before we post it, so it's fine. Yesterday was the Nintendo Direct. For those of you who know about the Nintendo Direct that happened recently, of the date of posting this video, you already know what I'm about to mention. Chris Pratt is Mario in the upcoming Super Mario movie made by the people who brought you the Minions movie, I do not know what to say. There's nothing I can say. Quentin and I were looking at Twitter and all the memes and all the posts and the responses, all of the like celebrities or random influencers like ProZD or even Linus Tech Tips tweeted about it.
It transcended all boundaries.
It's baffling. Why? I will say, Jack Black as Bowser does sound really, really fun. But just the cast, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. What are we doing? What is this?
I thought it was hilarious because it was like everyone kind of had the same agreement that it was like, you know, they first show Chris Pratt as Mario and everyone's like, what? And then you have Jack Black as Bowser and everyone's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, what?
Keegan Michael Key is Toad.
It's a roller coaster of emotions.
What's the dude from who's the dude playing Luigi again? I cannot remember.
The Pacific Rim guy.
What? Oh yeah, he was in
in
Pacific
there.
Rim.
I don't think that was his biggest role.
Yeah, I was thinking
That's the
about
one
I
I
was thinking
remember.
about the
He's in some show.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
It's
thinking.
Always Sunny.
Yeah,
He's in
I was
that.
thinking about It's Always Sunny. He is in Pacific Rim, but he's playing Luigi.
It's like, is this a joke? I saw people online who were saying like, this is the biggest troll that Nintendo could ever do, and I'm like, I don't think it's a troll.
I
hope it is.
The phrasing I saw consistently was this is the craziest shit post I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, it got people talking about it. We're talking about it right now. And like I said, it has transcended all borders.
Everyone, I've been seeing so many people talk. It's if you scroll through the news tab on Reddit, which granted the news tab on Reddit always has some weird shit. Like I remember a few months ago there was an article about how some celebrity was saying that he doesn't think it's super necessary to shower all the time or whatever. And I'm like, why is this news? There are like 4 or 5 of this articles all talking about him being Mario. Just everyone's posting about
Some
it.
people are making jokes about like Mario being homophobic and like cheating on his wife because it's Chris Pratt.
A lot of people have been talking about that. A lot of people were talking about like homophobic Mario. A lot of people were talking about like, Chris Pratt is going to show the true meaning of Mario, which is a Mario that like supports Ronald Reagan or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily on board with the whole Chris Pratt. With the whole Chris Pratt is homophobic because the people at the church he goes to is homophobic. I don't know if I'm necessarily on board with that. That being said, some of those memes are very, very funny.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Like it's just so good. It's so. If nothing else, I'm glad this announcement was made for the content alone.
I think that it's hilarious that at the very end it was like, okay, we got all these. The cast said, you know, also Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario,
is
will
just
be
gonna
making a guest appearance in the Mario movie.
They have the Mario voice actor in the movie. They said he's going to be playing various cameos. So he's going to be in the movie multiple times.
And you picked Chris Pratt.
You picked of all the people.
Chris Pratt.
I've seen so many GIFs.
He's not even Italian.
I've seen so many memes.
It's Italianist.
Yeah. I saw that too. So many like people are saying this is anti-Italian racism.
Anti-Italian.
But there were so many people. So many people were like, Danny DeVito isn't Mario.
It's not live action. Come on.
I saw one that was saying that Robert De Niro is so angry, and it was a statement about Robert De Niro, and it was obviously fake, but it was saying that he was furious and that they should have just had a Godfather reunion, and him and Joe Pesci are Mario and Luigi, and then there's so many ones that are like, you have Jack Black in the movie and he's not Mario.
Oh my
It's
God,
just
that'd be
so
weird.
it's so much.
The
much.
The only thing that would make me want to watch this movie is if
You don't want to watch it right now?
No.
Quinn and I were talking
God,
about
no.
it, and honestly, I kind of want to watch it just for the memes. Like,
That's like watching The Room. Like, you want to watch The Room, right?
The Room is self-aware. That's different.
I had no interest in the Emoji Movie because everything surrounding that movie looked bad, you know?
Yeah.
If it's just the voice actors and this movie is like halfway decent, but the voice cast is just so off because you have Chris Pratt as Mario,
Seeing Mario
I'll
talk.
watch it.
Seeing Mario talk is one level of cringe. Like an extended amount. It not being the actual like voice actor for Mario is another level. But what I was gonna say was the one thing that would make me have to watch this movie is if they like announce Willem Dafoe as Waluigi.
Oh
I saw
my
saw
God.
the meme that is him in like the photoshopped outfit.
Yeah, that'd
So
be
good.
amazing. That would be good.
I know some people were saying that Kevin Hart should be Diddy Kong.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I feel like that might be controversial because then, black guy's a monkey thing. But honestly, just put every single comedian in this movie in the most weird roles. I will watch it.
I would watch this if it was an SNL skit.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
People
if I'd
were
watch it
saying
as a feature film.
I saw people. Yeah, I've seen it. I saw people talking about how this is the second worst casting for a Mario thing this year because of Elon Musk's sketch from SNL where he was Wario.
This is the second worst
And
casting
they're
of
like,
Mario.
that's the first worst. It's like, how is this the second worst?
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
is the worst. This is going to be the worst Mario movie of all time.
Oh yeah, it's not a high bar to cross.
Honestly, I think the original Super Mario movie
was
No,
gonna say,
don't do
is
this.
fun to watch. I'm not gonna say good. I'm just gonna say fun. Oh, there's a lot of people who've been talking about who's gonna voice Yoshi, and so people were saying they should have Tom Holland as Yoshi.
Oh my God. Yeah, yeah. I just saw the
This just
picture of
feels
like Chris Pratt with the Mario outfit on, doing the thing from Jurassic
Park.
Jurassic World, where he was like, putting the dinosaurs at bay, and it was Yoshi's.
Where he was putting all of the like raptors at bay, and it's like, man, this scene with Mario and Yoshi looks really good.
Yeah, right.
I saw
Look at
one that was
CGI.
it was the scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when he's talking to Ego and Ego says that he kills his mom, but like it's the captions say, I killed Peach. And Chris Pratt has, the red Mario head and it turns to the white one for the fire flower. And so when he starts shooting Ego, it's all fireballs.
Does it make the noise?
Yeah.
It's so good. Like I said, if nothing else, this announcement is incredible for the content alone. Who knows what this movie is going to be like? Having looked at that cast list again, I feel like in terms of, comedy, but they're still kind of on the right track, every single casting choice is decent except for Mario. I think Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong is kind of off, but I think he could definitely kind of do something with that. Yeah.
I was making the joke
Yeah.
to you yesterday, Estefano, where it was like Miyamoto sitting there in the boardroom, like, okay, who do we want for Mario? And it's like, oh, get me the guy from Jurassic Park. And it's like, oh, who do we want for Luigi?
Get
oh,
me the
I
guy
really
from
like...
Pineapple Express.
Give me the guy from Pineapple Express, right here, right now. I want him as Donkey Kong.
I just don't get... Chris Pratt is the one that everyone is on, and they're right. Why Chris Pratt? Of all people, Chris Pratt.
I also saw on Twitter somebody was saying, what if they had it to where Chris Martinet was... Wait, is it Chris Martinet? No, it's not.
Chris Martinet.
Okay, yeah. Where he's all of the jump voices. So you still hear...
Anytime he's talking, it's Chris Pratt. But
then it's Chris. It's like, hello guys, we gotta get serious. We gotta help Peach.
This just feels like they just they just wanted famous names and they threw it on the list, and it's just that's part of the reason why it's like
right
I
now?
don't.
Chris Pratt. Okay,
I
I'm gonna
can't
cringe
wait.
through that entire movie if I watch it.
Can't wait until I hear Chris Pratt go, "It's a me."
It's a me, Chris Pratt.
Because he has to. "It's a me, Mario," is one of the most iconic lines. Either he says that, or he's gonna go "Let's-a go," or he's gonna go Yahoo. He's not gonna do none of them.
My God. I hadn't thought about that.
He,
Let's go.
yeah, Chris Pratt saying any of those things, golden.
Oh man.
Golden.
When-
It's going to be so good.
You brought up yesterday while we were watching it that I mean he doesn't have no experience. He at least was in Lego Movie.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was like,
he was
yeah, so we're gonna
Emmett.
have Mario the special.
Mario the Special.
You're the special. You're the guy. Oh, me.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is all
But the thing is that Emmett in the Lego Movie is not a pre-established character.
I mean, he kind of is.
Also
Look at all
not
the Lego City.
Italian. Emmett is not an Italian character.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like
In my head canon, he is.
there's no way.
He has to get like an Italian voice trainer, right, or something.
No.
No, I mean
That would
does
make it
Mario
even
have-
worse.
does
That would
Mario
make
have a
it
real
even
Italian
worse.
Voice?
What's up?
Does Mario have a real Italian voice? Like
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah, he does.
Martinet is talking to it's
I mean, he only has to say like
that's not
a word
that's
at a
not,
time.
like real Italian. Like come on.
when
That's not an Italian
in
accent.
I forget which game. It's either 64 or Odyssey. When you're standing still for a long time, he falls asleep and he just starts saying pasta names.
Oh, so he kind
Spaghetti.
of definitely. Now we know.
Rigatoni.
Pepperoni. Is that what you just said? Rigatoni.
Yeah, they legit
Yeah,
like just start
yeah,
saying
that's what he does.
pasta names in
Oh
an
my
Italian
God.
accent.
No. But that doesn't mean that his accent is Italian.
What do you mean that doesn't mean his accent? If you
That
are
doesn't
asleep,
mean that Martinet was like, you know
it
what?
is a stereotypical Italian
The
accent.
thing is, right,
At
it's like I
worst.
said when I said Mario talking at length. We get one word at a time from Martinet, right? I'm sure if he did like full script sentences, it would not sound like an Italian voice.
No, there's a clip that was going around Twitter that's like, can you imagine Chris Pratt doing this? And it's Chris Martinet doing an entire like off the cuff monologue about pizza, and he's voicing Mario, and he's the most energetic, just like completely pumped up person ever. I understand why you wouldn't want that for a whole movie. I get why they wouldn't have, Chris Martinet or Charles Martinet. I feel like we're getting his name wrong.
Charles. It's Charles.
It's
That's what
Charles?
it was.
Yeah, so or Charles Martinet. I feel like I get why they wouldn't want him for a whole movie. It's just of all of the people, if they don't change their designs, can you imagine Chris Pratt's voice coming out of Mario's body?
Like the Odyssey version.
Yeah. It just
Oh,
doesn't
man.
fit is the thing. So either they're going to redesign them or it's going to look so
Wouldn't it
weird.
be
Maybe
hilarious
they're-
if they did like cross-dimensional, like you have Nintendo 64 Mario
I just thought about this. Do you think that
Into the Mario verse?
into the Mario verse? Yes.
do you think that someone in the casting department thinks that Chris Pratt is comparable to Ryan Reynolds? Because
Well,
like with the Detective Pikachu thing, right? Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu,
Yeah.
and having Chris Pratt as Mario feels like another one of those like
It's also very funny because everyone was talking about, Danny DeVito should be Mario, and with that comparison, Danny DeVito was one of the final options that they came down to for Pikachu. Honestly, I prefer Ryan Reynolds because I think Ryan Reynolds is funnier
Ryan Reynolds.
in like a different way as
Yeah.
Pikachu. Though, Danny DeVito would have also been really funny. Just
Yeah.
like if he hams it up more than he did the Lorax, because he played the Lorax very straight. But just like Danny DeVito
He was
hamming
the
it up.
Lorax?
Yeah, that was that was
I didn't
him,
know
right?
Danny DeVito
that was
spoke
Danny
for the
DeVito, right?
trees.
Yeah,
He actually is the Lorax, but also played the Lorax.
He just played himself.
he played the Lorax. He played the Trash Man. He
Trash.
Played
man.
the Hercules trainer.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
he played
that one.
Phil. He played
Yeah,
Phil.
I know Phil.
He's actually I believe he still voices Phil in all of the Kingdom Hearts games.
That's a good thing to come back and be able to do again. I'm sure that's not the worst role he's ever had.
I feel like he had fun with it, honestly.
Yeah, like a jaded trainer.
Same with who's the guy who voices Iago in the in
Oh,
In
Gilbert
Aladdin?
Godfrey.
Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey is also in Kingdom Hearts. Granted, he was in all of the like sequel movies and in the show for Aladdin that they had, but Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey came back too.
I had forgotten
goated
about
for
Gilbert
Cyberchase.
Godfrey until you just said that. Now so many thoughts. So many thoughts.
He also, I don't know if you've seen the Return of Jafar movie. We're on a tangent, but honestly, this entire segment of
This is the tangent.
this entire segment of Chris Pratt as Mario could be its own episode. But
I
in
could talk for
the
an hour about
yeah,
it.
in the sequel or the first sequel, Return of Jafar, Iago has his own song and dance number, and Gilbert Godfrey singing is a blessing onto onto this earth.
Oh my god.
It's called "Looking Out for Me." If you want, I can show you it
Looking
later.
out for me.
That is exactly how the
Oh,
song
it's
goes.
terrible.
Looking out for me.
That's awful.
Because he frees himself from Jafar's lamp, so he's just like, he's chilling by himself. He's like, I don't need Jafar anymore. So he has an entire song and dance number of just Gilbert Godfrey singing. It's great. Great.
I would love to sit here on this topic for another hour,
But
we
we
actually
can't.
have a real topic.
We can't. We have to move on. Final thoughts. Why Chris Pratt?
Indeed, why?
Why?
Yeah,
I think that's the final thought.
yeah, the final thought is why Chris Pratt, but Quentin and I think we're gonna watch it. I don't know if Matt's gonna watch it.
No.
But...
Oh, it's gonna be a riot.
Oh, it's gonna be great. In the worst possible way. Could you imagine if it's a good movie?
Could you imagine everyone's disappointment at it being a good movie?
Everyone's like,
Oh,
I
man.
wanted it to be like, no one will ever be as disappointed in a movie being good as they will be if that one is.
I agree. So is that our final thoughts? Okay. So let's. I feel like we're gonna loop back around to this at some point.
It's
I'm
going
sure.
to come back at the end is the thing. Whenever we're doing the last segment, I guarantee you one of us is going to start talking about it again.
Guarantee it.
Or we're just going to mention Chris Pratt in passing, and then we're going to get back onto the tangent.
So the actual topic we want to talk more at length about today was the things that we never really finished and possibly even never planned to. Whenever it comes to games, movies, books, all that jazz. Do you like jazz?
And all that jazz.
And all that jazz. So I know that Estefano, you told me that you don't have a whole lot. You tend to finish everything.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think it's kind of cool that we have a person who's kind of like in my boat. I tend to make it a point to finish a lot of the things that I watch. I do have a few things. I do have a few things that I will bring up. Two of them are very much I actively did not finish them. The third one is a bit iffy because I likely will finish them within the coming year, but I do have some. It's just I always kind of feel weird if I don't finish something, especially if it's something like a show where I'm already really invested, or a movie. You know, a movie's only a certain amount of time long. I know we were talking before about how sometimes something comes on TV and you watch it and then you don't finish it or you go do something else. I didn't really include stuff like that because I felt like that happens way too much for it to really count, at least for me. But I'm very much a person who finishes what they start. And also, I tend to only watch, play, read things that I know I will be interested in.
I try so many different things, and there's also just things I fall off of, and that's a big issue I have. You know, I don't want to be known as a quitter, but I do quit a lot of things. I also wanted to
He
start.
is a quitter.
I thought we were friends. So I actually wanted to start with games because I know that the last like two podcast games were like the major thing we were talking about, and so I wanted to start with video games because I only have a few on video games, and then I have a bunch for other stuff.
Two of mine are games.
So wait, so you actually have some?
I have three.
Okay, go ahead.
So the first one, which is my one that kind of doesn't count because I do intend to finish this, is I never finished Horizon Zero Dawn. A lot of stuff was kind of coming out at the same time, and so I just never got around to play it. I played it twice. I played it on launch, and then my cousin was living with us for a while, and he urged me to play it because he was saying how much he loved the game. And then he introduced me to Persona 5, and that ate up my life for like a solid year.
That's fair.
So I unfortunately have never finished Horizon Zero Dawn. That being said, Horizon Horizon Forbidden West.
Zero West.
Horizon Forbidden West. Honestly, I thought the thing they were gonna change was Horizon, so I thought it would always be a different thing, Zero Dawn. So
Yeah,
whenever they
Horizon
said
Zero West
Forbidden,
and Horizon Zero East.
Well, yeah, but Zero Dawn is like the operation happening in that game.
interesting. Okay, yeah. So I
Spoilers.
I don't think
It's the
that's too bad.
title.
Is it?
I don't. I will
Horizon Zero
eventually.
Dawn.
I will eventually finish Horizon Zero Dawn in preparation for Forbidden West, but that's probably the first one. The one that I actively did not finish, and I highly doubt I will ever go back to, is the fucking Avengers game that came out in 2020.
I
I
forgot
forgot
what
own
we're
you
it.
talking
actually
about.
bought that.
Yeah, I bought it. I played it. It's
Oh.
not.
That's so sad.
It's not terrible. I will say the fact that they, really pushed Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, great. I think she's incredible in that game.
Yeah,
I think
how's Spider-Man in that game?
maybe if they don't finish, if they don't stop adding updates before they actually add Spider-Man into the game. The story was hit or miss at points, but just the fucking game is so much and so grindy and so ridiculous that I stopped. I stopped. For a while, I was fine with it. Of all of the three of us, I am the most okay with grind. But even then, it got to a point that I'm like, this is exhausting.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you say that because I was just about to say it seems like a lot of the Destiny clones are the one like coming out and dying off, and like me and Quentin are the Destiny players here. He's a bit more grindy than me, but you brought up Persona 5, and that's something I totally forgot to put on my list. I still haven't finished Persona 5.
Because of, similar to me, the gameplay.
Yeah, I turn-based combat. I mean, like the style of the game and like the charm of it really got me through most of it. But the last time I played it, I'm in a very combat-heavy portion, and it's just not. It's
you
just
are
not the
right
move.
there. Like the thing was, I was thinking about quitting the game because I was like, this is not keeping my attention enough.
Yeah.
And then I got to the end of where you are and was like, okay, yeah, this is going to last me to the end because it's
I
so
think-
good right after where you are. You stopped
You can tell me that as much as you want, but
Like
I'm not walking across those
10
burning coals.
10 minutes before I stopped.
I
Or I
I
was gonna
think
stop, I should say.
I think, Matt, once we get you to play Royale, because you guys played the base version of Persona, because I don't think Royale was even out yet at the time. Once we get you to play Royale, I think you'll be able to do it because, for one, that portion of the game that you're playing right now is heavily shortened anyway.
Okay, cool.
So there's not as much combat. And also, they've made the combat so much more streamlined. It's still turn-based combat, but it's so much easier to just run through battles that I don't think it should be an issue. I really don't. There is one boss fight that is ridiculous. You guys have run into the character already. So they made the Okumura boss fight incredibly difficult in Royale and really
I
ridiculous.
mean, it was already stupid in the default
they
game.
they made it dumber. I actually had trouble with the fucking boss. I had to switch my party.
Even I had trouble.
The master.
The master. But yeah, so I feel like that might be a bit much. But beyond that, those sections of the game are so streamlined. I think you'll be able to run through it and finally beat the game. And also, Royale's just better in every way anyway. So
Only time will tell.
Okay, so this is an hour-long advertisement for Persona 5 Royale.
Yeah. I have pretty substantial. I have like 5 other games on my list.
Oh, well then, yeah, go ahead. I have one thing that kind of connects to 3, so that's why mine's not
Got you.
substantial with gaming.
In that case, one of them is Metal Gear Solid 5. That
the Phantom
game,
Pain.
yeah, that game is a really good game. The only thing is that it allows for a lot of creativity, but that creativity has like a layer of complex systems to
So,
craft.
Skill is what you're talking about.
What? Say that again?
So skill, you're talking about skill.
Are you saying scale or skill?
Skill.
Scales. No, skill.
No, like systems to get the things to have that creativity. Like it has a lot of open creativity if you're collecting resources and things like
I
that.
mean,
Oh,
looking-
okay. I thought it was more so like there were too many button prompts or something like that. I'm like,
No,
so
it's
skill.
like-
You're
like-
talking about skill.
I mean,
if I'm just playing the game
looking
straight,
at,
it can get pretty boring.
Just looking at Kojima's most recent game, Death Stranding. There's a lot of
The
stuff
first
in that game.
Strand type game.
Just looking at like how that game works, there's just so much that I'm like, even if I wanted to get into it, I feel like I wouldn't. Honestly, I feel like if I tried to play Death Stranding, that would get added to this list.
Yeah.
I actually played. I mean, this is kind of a little bit of a tangent, but I actually played the first Metal Gear one day.
Like the 2D one?
I mean, not the one like the arcadey one where
You
it's
mean
side
You're talking about the
Delete-
top-down one?
top down. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid One.
Yeah.
Something espionage, whatever. Yeah, I played that one day. I was offshore, and then one of the guys out there brought a computer that had like PS1 and like Nintendo emulators on it. We hooked that up to the TV, and we're playing that. Big tangent, but I didn't finish it, so it kind of connects.
Does kind of connect.
Yeah, I didn't finish it because of we went home, so I just didn't have the console anymore. But yeah, that's a pretty good game. I actually liked it.
Yeah, and I mean, Metal Gear Solid 5 is a really good game, and I recommend it. That's not one of mine. Like, I probably won't finish it. Like, someday I might go back to it and play it, and I feel like I could do that. Another part of that is Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne.
Okay.
Every
Actually,
few months or so, I come back to those games trying to finish them, and I don't. Maybe someday I'll like stream it and try
now
to
that you
force
say it,
myself through it.
I also have Bloodborne on my list. I completely forgot.
You started it?
I did start it. I
wow.
owned it for a while, but it's just not my type of game, so I didn't finish it. So I feel like Bloodborne is also on my list, but again, that's just because difficulty isn't my thing. And I know I mentioned this in the like what type of games we like. It most definitely those types of games that are super hard aren't my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
did
just
really
my
like
patience.
the vibe of it though. It looks very good, so I just watch people play it and stuff.
Oh yeah, like along with that, the with the like the Soulsborne games and the vibe, Hollow Knight, I'm definitely going to finish that at some point.
Man, Hollow Knight's
That
so
is
good.
also on my I'm going to finish it later list.
I have finished the base game. I have finished the first DLC. I did not finish the Pantheons of
I feel like
Hollowness, the
finishing.
Godseeker DLC.
I feel like finishing the base game counts as finishing
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
game.
I mean-
it's just you haven't completed the
yeah,
game.
I haven't
you know?
completed the game, and you know me, I'm big on like finding everything I can, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's the thing is I do go through there, and all it is a boss rush mode in the Godseeker DLC. So I'm just sitting there, you know, grinding through bosses. Granted, I haven't played in like 6 months, maybe even a year, because honestly, I feel like I completed the game. There's not really a whole lot more to do except for the personal challenge of beating all the bosses in a boss rush, which is still cool. I'd like to do it eventually, but
Yeah.
I'm not really rushing for it.
I get that. You just said, you know, I feel like you feel like you've completed the game. That reminds me of another one on my list, Hades. I've completed one. Like I've got up to Hades. Like
You've beaten Hades, so you've effectively beaten the core concept of the game.
Well, not
Yeah.
Matthew.
No,
have
no,
you?
I didn't beat Hades.
Oh, you
Yeah,
haven't
no,
beaten
no,
Hades?
No, it was
okay.
me.
I got him down
I-
very low.
You're,
Well, no,
you're talking about the wrong person.
No,
I have beat Hades.
I just thought he'd beaten Hades the once. I know you've beaten Hades repeatedly,
Yes.
so I know you have beaten the second section of the game that you need to beat, and then there's other stuff.
Yeah, I think that before my Game Pass thing expired, I think I beat Hades like 20 times. Which some people listening are probably like, "Oh, that's nothing. I beat him 100. I beat him 1,000." But I mean, I feel
I
pretty
think
good.
I've only beaten him twice.
Took me like 12 runs to be in the first time. That felt pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, I got up to him, fought him, got him pretty low, didn't win, and for some reason, I like switch flipped in my brain of like, I've beaten this game, I've completed this game. The amount of closure I have for that game is so absolute. Like I legit will forget that I didn't beat it. I don't know what happened. I don't know where in my
I can
brain that
spoil
was
it for you.
decided.
Not
What's
right
up?
now, but I can.
Why would I want that?
You said it's completed.
Yeah,
you're
I've
not
already
gonna play
beaten it.
again?
Why? I don't understand where your objective is coming from.
I would tell you everything that happens.
I already know. I beat the game.
I've beaten the. That's like whenever we were talking about Persona 5, and I was like, I beat the game, and you're like, oh, so you beat the final boss? I'm like, I took the deal. There's a choice you can make at the end. If
I
you
got
take the deal,
bad ending.
that's it. But if you don't take the deal, you have to fight fucking God or something like
Yeah.
that. And
Speak-
so,
Actually, we're really segueing between games because, you know, taking the deal, taking like, you know, the bad ending of the deal. I played Fallout 3 until I blew up I almost
Megaton?
call it Nuketown. Was it Megaton?
Yeah, Megaton.
I blew up
You think
Megaton.
you completed the game after that?
No.
Okay,
This isn't in that
what?
ranking. But I just have never gone back to Fallout
Yeah,
3.
that's fair. I mean, all those games are really big, so it's hard to get back into if you feel like that. You completed it.
I guess well,
I don't feel like I've completed Fallout 3. Let me make that clear. I just like that's the last thing I remember happening in Fallout 3, and I just never played it. I haven't played it since then, and I probably won't, just because going like taking a step back in Bethesda games is always difficult to go through.
That's also why I didn't add like Skyrim to the list, because technically I still actively play Skyrim. I've never beaten it, and I will, have breaks, but it's like
I mean, it's not
you're
on the
always
same
gonna play
scale.
Skyrim
Yeah,
if
you're
you
always gonna
like
play
the
Skyrim.
game.
It's like Minecraft or Destiny or something.
I will
It's
say
like,
I actually did beat Fallout 4. I'd like beat the whole game with the Brotherhood. I didn't do too many side quests because I was just kind of going through the story at that point.
I did all the side quests.
because
and
I feel like
didn't believe it was all the side quests until at the end I looked on the wiki. I was like, "You're kidding me? That was it?"
yeah, there's so much extra stuff that you just go into places and learn the lore, but there's like you would not go there
actual
anyway.
Marked quests. There's so few.
Yeah, I think this is a tangent. I think one of the cool things about New Vegas is that the side quests in the game kind of connect because they all have you go to a bunch of like really core locations, like the RepCon facility site of like 2 or 3 quests.
Yeah.
There's that. I think that game really does a good job of showing off its areas. You go to every single vault in the game except maybe one for all of the different quests, because you have the one. Well, no, yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel quest I think sends you to every single one of the vaults.
have you played Witcher 3 Estefano?
No, but I haven't started it either.
Okay, got you.
I loaded up the game to see how the DLC worked because I knew that there were like character design swaps. So what I did like in the DLC, that it changes how Triss looks and all that stuff.
Oh, it does?
So yeah,
you can download those separately on Steam.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then so since I was gifted the like Ultimate Edition, I got all of it. So I opened the game to see how you change between it, figured it out, looked at what all the alternate designs were, and figured out which ones I wanted, which ones I didn't.
I don't think they're as good as the regular ones.
I think one of them is. One of them I really liked more. Or I think I liked 2 of them more, and then one of them I didn't. I certainly don't like the Johnny Silverhand alternate look that they have for Cyberpunk, but yeah, they came out for one. That was one of the. They made like 3 free updates recently, and that was one of them. It's like a car, 2 jackets, and then an alternate look for Johnny Silverhand that doesn't look too hot.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
like for Cyberpunk 2077.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were saying
for
like
Cyberpunk.
in the Witcher,
making one of the
In The
characters
Witcher, one of the
Silverhand.
characters becomes
in the Witcher.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I
That's not true. I want to make that statement. That is not true. They did not do that.
I'm sorry, we have you on record saying that it's
didn't
true.
Siri mention Night City or something, and now everyone's like they're the same
Well,
universe, but they're
Well, yeah,
not.
there are a bunch of
No,
Easter eggs
she
between them.
doesn't mention Night City by name. That's a lie.
Savathun.
Savathun.
Yeah, so eventually I will get to Witcher 3 whenever
That was
I
a
feel
Destiny
I am
joke for
prepared
anyone
for
wondering.
that investment. There's a lot of stuff before that. I would have added Dragon Age Origins to this list
But you
because I
plan on
haven't
beating
beaten it
that.
yet. But since I beat the last couple games that have been kind of taking up my time, Origins is the next game I'm going into. So I figured it didn't really count. It might get interrupted again whenever the Guardians of the Galaxy game comes out later this year, but then, that'll take up my that'll take up my time for like a week, 2 weeks, and then I'll go back to Origins.
Right.
I
The
go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
the last game on my list is Knights of the Old Republic, like the original one, of course, because
Do we
the new one isn't
count
out yet.
games that massive? Because it's so hard to beat them.
I
mean,
count it
yeah.
because I played through. I don't remember exactly how much of it I played through because I get it mixed up with the Old Republic game. But I played through like a good portion of the opening of the entire game, and just sort of at some point stopped playing it because some other game had come out or something, and just haven't gone back to it. And I probably won't because the remaster got announced. Is that a remaster?
It's
or
a remake.
Remake.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
remake got
they got that.
announced.
Also, yesterday we saw that they're gonna put the original on the Switch.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. I'm very torn because part of me is like, should I play the original on the Switch or should I wait for the remake?
The combat's trash. Like that's really the biggest thing for everyone to get into. It's
How do
not
they do
even-
that kind of combat on a Switch? Well, I guess they just never mind.
Well, I mean, they had it on Xbox. The original game was released on Xbox 360, so they've already had it
Oh.
on a console before.
It's just because of the the combat being in like the sort of like WoW or League of Legends type
Where you click a button and
one
something
number
happens.
equals a move type
Yeah,
thing. But I
yeah,
guess you
yeah.
can just assign that to a button or whatever. But yeah, those are all my games.
Yeah, because they got like a whole bunch of stuff. I remember like DC Universe Online. They used to have like this big old like push for PlayStation to have that for free, and all that stuff, and they managed to make that work. It was just like,
But is it the same kind of like
yeah, it was the same. You have like the hotkeys on the bottom,
yeah?
and they just had it like mapped to buttons, and then to unlock the next set, you like held like left trigger or right
Yeah,
trigger.
yeah. It's
They-
kind of like
I-
in Elite Dangerous, how you're able to have multiple buttons change up what you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
that's-
I'm questioning all that, even though I played Darksiders 2, which had not exactly the same, but sort of similar like system to it. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're putting that on the Switch. I think that's pretty interesting. I honestly, if you want to play the game, but you know for a fact you're not into that old combat system with dice rolls and all that, just wait. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, just wait. I know you're into D&D, Matt, but if you're not into video games having that dice roll situation where it's miss, 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 hit, miss,
Oh, yeah,
miss, miss,
definitely
critical,
not.
miss, hit, then just wait.
I don't mind it as long as it's in a game like that. If it's in a game like Morrowind where it's first person, I want my attacks to hit when I am very clearly hitting them.
Yeah, I get you. We've talked about that before. That could be something we bring up in the future. I know. Well, I mean, that's a game that I haven't completed, Morrowind, but that's not one
Another Bethesda game.
I won't count that one because it's fucking Morrowind.
Does one ever truly beat a Bethesda game?
If you play Fallout 4, yes.
You don't beat
Fair.
a Bethesda game until you kill Todd Howard. That's the final boss.
That's the final.
Todd
boss.
No
Howard's
one
the
has
final boss.
completed a
That's not what I
Bethesda
thought you were
game.
going with that. I thought it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's like Dark Souls, where when you put down the controller, that is technically an end. You went hollow. In the lore of the game, you went hollow. I thought you were going to be something like that, where it's like, oh, you don't really technically beat a Skyrim until you put the controller down and never play again.
No.
Kill Todd Howard.
Todd Howard.
That's the final boss. Oh my god. My thing actually relates kind of to that, kind of like to everything we talked about. No, not not to killing Todd Howard.
Okay.
Well, actually, I want you to know that we're about to get police knocking on the door.
Our definition of game is going to be very loose with this one.
The new Elder Scrolls games are going to be really hurt without Todd behind the wheel. I just say. No. I my thing kind of connects to everything we've talked about. With I am very bad with completing DLC of every game I ever have played. I have never
I
completed
feel that.
all of the DLC for Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4. I've not completed all the DLC for Skyrim.
I got halfway through all the DLC for New Vegas. I got to Old World Blues and then stopped because other stuff happened.
I have played.
Though to be fair, Old World Blues is the longest, but also the
I actually really like
best
the
DLC.
aesthetic of it.
Oh yeah, it's a great DLC.
I
It's
love
just
that one.
again, other stuff happened. So
I always start a new character. Like I started forever ago. Whenever I was playing the game, I did Dead Money, and then I went over to Old World Blues. And I know that's not the order you're supposed to do it in, but that's what I did. And then in the middle of Old World Blues, I wanted to try a new strategy for fighting, for playing the game. So I started a new character. And then whenever I did that, I went and did Dead Money. Then I went and did, what's the one, not The Divide, but the fourth one.
Honest Hearts.
Honest Hearts. I want to go do Honest Hearts. Completed Honest Hearts, but was barely paying attention to what happened. So I can't even tell you the plot of that one, even though people do actually like the plot of that one.
Honest Hearts is probably the one people like the least.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I
People
know
like Joshua Graham, but
that's it. Yeah,
but
people love
that's
the guy.
basically the thing that carries it for a lot of people. I like it, but I agree.
I completed it, had no idea what was going on, and then wanted to try a new strategy for playing the game, so I created a new character.
This is the problem with Bethesda games. Is that happens all the time. That's why I didn't really include Bethesda games on my list because do you ever beat a Bethesda game?
Until you put down the controller or kill Todd Howard. I so there's that. Same thing happened in Skyrim. Is that I've started the Dawn Guard DLC like 3 times and just never completed that character with it. I've only gone to Solstheim 1 time with a character and never did any like the missions there. I just went there because I was like, curious what it was like. So I just showed up and was like, "Hey, this is pretty cool. I like this." Never completed any of the missions. And then what was the other one? Fallout 3. I never even started any of the DLC. Not a single one.
I did the
Oh wait, never mind.
the Operation Anchorage thing
I
because
did
that's easy.
on the PS3. I played Mothership Zeta all the way through, and I did Anchorage.
Yeah.
So never mind. I lied. I have played both of those ones to completion. Did not do the pit, and then is there a fourth one?
I was about to be yeah. There's Operation Anchorage, the pit, Mothership Zeta, and then the fourth DLC, which I think might have been the first DLC, was the one that expanded the game and made it longer.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I didn't complete that either because I beat the game, but I didn't do that last half with the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah. I was almost like, oh yeah, I almost played it. I also played it on PS3 as if that was special, and then I realized I have one of your copies of the game for PS3. I have
Might be mine.
I have your Game of the Year copy.
I did have Game of the Year edition, so it's possible.
And you gave it to me.
Oh.
Because I was like, oh, I want to play Fallout 3, so you gave it to me.
And I have it on PC. So I mean, I gave Matthew Skyrim whenever I bought Skyrim on PC all those years ago. So Matthew has Skyrim on PS3 with like none of the DLC.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm very bad with DLC, all DLC. I have The Witcher. I completed Hearts of Stone after getting told to complete it like 30 times. And then Blood and Wine, which everyone loves. I am maybe halfway through. I am maybe halfway through with that one.
I rarely complete the DLC myself. The only ones I can think of off the top of my head that I've actually completed is The Witcher 3 because I love that game a lot. Personally, I liked
You played the Spider-Man ones.
Did I? I don't
Yeah,
I finish it? I don't think I finished it.
Yeah, I think you did because you were like live discording the process that you like liked this character and didn't like this character and blah blah blah.
In Spider-Man
In
PS4,
yeah.
I was live discording it?
Yeah, well, you like you know the phrase live tweeting. I was saying that you were doing that effectively, where you were just talking about random stuff that was happening in the Discord, about how you didn't like Hammerhead or whatever it was. I do recall that.
I watched someone.
You played it because you played it because I recommended it to you because of the Miles stuff that it has and how it tied into Miles.
Is the Black Cat thing the only DLC?
No, there's three of them.
Yeah.
I think you might have finished the second one and not the third one. I think you might have started the third one and not finished it.
Gotcha. Because I don't remember. Whatever. But like I finished Witcher and Little Nightmares because Little Nightmares is easy to like. I just
Oh yeah, that one had DLC. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Honestly, I need to check when Little Nightmares 2 is gonna start getting DLC. If it's
I know they like updated the game, like they gave it better graphics or whatever. There's like a better graphic version.
Whenever
I saw somebody cosplaying Mono, and it was just like, God, that's such a cool character.
Did you see the first-person mod that they made for that game?
They made a first-person mod.
Yeah, yeah. Someone made a first-person mod for Little Nightmares.
Y'all remember the DLC for the first game, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that in first person? Like that's the scariest. That's the scariest Little Nightmares content I've played.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think so. I mean, I thought there were some creepy parts.
Yeah, but that's the scare. None of the parts in 1 or 2 like base game matched up to the DLC in 1. The going through the actual mansion of the lady with the little kids poking their head around the corners and stuff, watching you. You walking through like the mannequin room.
There was a moment
constantly.
There was a moment. I think it was you were in the hospital section of 2, like where all the mannequins that move. You were streaming it and we were watching it, and my girlfriend had called me, so I like muted myself, but I was still watching the stream, and I saw you jump.
I saw the flinch in the controls.
Yeah. I saw I saw him jump once, and that wasn't even the funniest part was there was a moment where you walk into a room, something moves in the corner, and I saw Matt immediately pause the game. It was that moment whenever you walk into a room, something happens, you pause the game, you're like, no.
No,
I'm
no.
leaving.
I saw that. I didn't hear what he said, but I saw it happen, and it was so funny.
Oh man,
I never see Matt get scared because Matt doesn't really play horror games, but he likes Little Nightmares. So hearing Matt be afraid of like the lady with like the super long neck and how that sounds, so great. The first person version of that game, I saw that sequence with like the teacher with the long neck. Absolutely not.
did you see they also made someone released a mod for Bloodborne that had it in first person.
I feel like that's just
It looks
weird.
phenomenal. Like the thing is, it obviously looks like a mod, but it is awesome looking. I would imagine that game would be incredibly difficult in first person.
The problem with the Little Nightmares 2 mod is that it uses the mapping that the game has. So technically, if you look to your right, you'll just see dead space because there's nothing on that side of the screen. But everything else about that mod is great.
That's awesome. I kind of speaking on Bloodborne, getting back to the topic. I haven't completed the Bloodborne DLC.
What is it? It's like the
Old Hunters.
yeah.
And that's the problem is that everybody who likes that game says that the DLC is the best it has to offer. And I never completed it. I started it, walked around a bit, and then moved.
All I know about that DLC, well, I know two things about the DLC. I know that like the woman who inspired the doll is like the final boss
Lady
or whatever.
Maria, she's not the
Yeah.
final boss, but yeah.
Is she not? All the other thing I know that Matt and I constantly reference is the fucking horse dude that midway through the fight picks up a sword and is like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, Ludwig's
By my side all
his-
this time.
my guiding moonlight.
Because his bit is that midway through the fight he remembers his humanity. So he just is like, okay, there's this horse monster that's just been, running around fighting you, kind of like a lot of the bosses in Bloodborne that they kind of just like lunge at you and shit. And then midway through the fight he's like, this fucking sword in the middle of the arena?
Mhm.
This is mine now.
No, it's on his back the entire time.
Oh, is it? It's on his. Oh yeah, he just
Yeah.
grabs it. Is like, it's on now.
Also, the fight music that takes place during that waltz is amazing.
It's beautiful.
What is it? Alex Mukalla has I think that's how you pronounce his name. He has a video breaking down that sound track, that fight music. It is amazing. He also has what was it? A jazz version? No, swing? No, that's not what it is. He has a version that he made that is very like upbeat. I can't remember exactly what genre it would be in. Funk? I think it was funk. It was very groovy, and that is amazing. I love that song. There are no songs in any of the From Software games that I would actually put on a playlist, except that one, because that song is just so good. It's so high energy. It's great. I love it. Anyway, I never completed that DLC, and I'm trash because of it. I'm horrible. Everyone says that Bloodborne is easier than any of the other From Software games, any of the Dark Souls games, except the final fight in that DLC is the hardest fight in any From Software game, is what I hear. I don't know.
You say that. I didn't even fucking beat. What is its name? The fucking cleric beast? Didn't even beat that.
You didn't even defeat Father Gascoigne? Like,
There was no way I was gonna defeat him, bro. I'm not good at those types of games.
I get you. That's
I would have
not
had to grind to like get my character higher to just kind of give me an advantage.
Yeah, I love that game. Bloodborne is so good, but I can't. I know that if anybody's listening and is like a fan of Bloodborne, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's not a real fan. He doesn't actually like Bloodborne. He didn't complete the DLC."
Those people are posers.
Posers as lovers for the DLC.
Yes.
So there's that. The last DLC I remember completing, like I wholeheartedly completed all the DLC for, was actually Oblivion. Back on the PS3, before I got Skyrim, I believe, I played through Oblivion, and I beat all the DLC for it. And I haven't completed the Oblivion DLC on PC yet, which kind of sucks. But yeah, that DLC is pretty good. I like it.
I know elements of it.
It's I like it. I actually listened to a video talking about everything wrong with Oblivion recently, and they bring up all the problems with the DLC, and I'm like, I don't care. I like it a lot.
Oh, the fucking 16-minute long or 16-hour long
Not
video.
16 minutes. No,
16
the
hours.
the 12-hour long video. Yeah,
God,
I listened to that. I also listened to another one that was 6 hours.
gross.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to get all of people's perspective on it. You know, I say all of people's perspective, two people's perspective on it. They had such a hot take or such a heavy feeling about Oblivion, at least, that they felt they had to make a 6 and 12-hour video on it.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, so I wanted to listen to it, and I listened to it, and I don't agree with everything they said. I said that last podcast, but I like those DLC, so fight me. Anyway, let's move on from video games if we don't have anything else. Anybody else got anything video game related?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, cool. So my next one I was thinking of was books actually, because when thinking about what I was going to talk about in this podcast episode, a lot of what I was thinking about was books that I've tried to read that I just could not get past. And I like books. I like reading. You know, I read John Green's The Anthropocene Reviewed in like 2 days. I read Turtles All the Way Down in 3. And so I can read relatively well, I think. I'm not sitting here at a second grade reading level, I hope. But there are some books that are awful. That are just bad. I hate them. And
I actually do have a few for these.
awesome, cool. Because there's some things that there's some books I read that I think are going to be great reads for philosophy, thoughts. I guess other things that I would love to read or love to watch or love to play a game about. You know, cool action stuff happening. Books that have no action or just character studies. Great, love that. I love learning about the human psyche, I guess. But some of those books are just trash. They're horribly written, or they're not engaging. Nothing's really going on. And so the top one I had was 1984. I tried to read that shit, and it is boring as hell.
A responsible me, or a semi-responsible me. A responsible me would say that they read it because we were supposed to for school. A semi-responsible me would say that they read some of it but not all of it. In reality, I read none of that book, so that doesn't even count for me. I just had it.
I got less than halfway through and was like, no, this is a bad book.
I think I might have like read the first chapter and then didn't.
That's how it was with Hunger Games.
I never even read Hunger Games.
I read 2 chapters back whenever it came out and everyone was real happy about it. I read
through
two
Hunger
chapters and
Games.
was like, this is awful.
I never read the like school mandatory book. The only book that I actually did read through was Grendel, because that's a good book. I
I
really
read
enjoyed
through
that
Book
book.
Thief. I thought that one was good too.
On my list, I got like the Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, right? Because I love the idea of like a detective thing. You know, I really like Death Note. I love like those sort of like like murder, not murder mystery, but like solving a crime things. But it's so boring. Like the build up to it, it just lost me along the way. I was just like, I can't. I'm sorry, I'm leaving.
What is it? The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah.
So not like the regular novels or
It's like a
short
collection
stories.
of the Sherlock Holmes stories.
Because I also had on my list the Sherlock Holmes anthology series. I read the first and second story, which the second story relates to the first story, so maybe it's still considered the first story. I don't fucking know. I read those and actually really enjoyed it, and then just never continued reading it because I have this giant book I got from Barnes and Noble that is a collection of all of them, and it's in 2 volumes. And yeah, I had that on there too. I do plan on finishing it. I just don't know when.
For me, I have two of the biggins. One of them I will likely finish eventually. It's just finding the time to sit down. I got to Order of the Phoenix in the Harry Potter books, and I got like part of the way through that one and I stopped. Pretty sure that's the longest book. Maybe Half Blood Prince is the longest book, but I know that those are like the two longer ones. So I never finished those. Have seen all the movies. I know a lot of the stuff that happens in the books that doesn't happen in the movies just through general knowledge, or my mom and my girlfriend are very big fans, so stuff that they mention. But those I will eventually get to and finish because they will likely pressure me to, and I would like to maybe like reread the original, like the first few, because I know I enjoyed them, and then finish them. One I likely might not ever. No, I feel like I would finish this. It's just gonna take a lot of patience. We talked about this, I think maybe in the second podcast, maybe the first. I don't remember. God, the the Lord of the Rings books are such a chore. Why must you describe things for 5 pages? I don't need a door described to me over the course of 2 entire pages. Just tell me that the door is there. Some vague descriptions of
It
the
was an old door.
yeah, it was an old door,
It was a
you know,
golden door.
old golden door, moss is like growing over it because it's been subjected to the elements. That's all you need. That's all I need to know, Tolkien. That's all I need to know. But you give me too much information that just makes those books feel like I have to wade through butter and just like
Wade through
Butter.
It sounds so gross.
yeah,
Butter.
just like it's not, it's just so thick and so hard to just get through. It's awful.
I
It's
feel like
awful.
I never tried to read Lord of the Rings. Going back to your Harry Potter comment, I don't think I'll ever read those books. Don't have a desire to. But with Lord of the Rings, I feel like
I will say The Hobbit is a much easier read
yeah,
because
well,
it's
it's
for children.
child's
It's
yeah,
it's
it's
very good.
child's book. Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
The Hobbit is very, very good.
And I feel like whenever it comes to Lord of the Rings, I've never actually opened it to read it. But I feel like there's some things you could probably skip through. Like I was reading the Bible forever ago, and in there's a bunch of names and when they died, and it's just like this man lived for this long and died at this age, and it's like okay, cool. There's pages of that. Skip, 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 skip. I don't care, you know. So I feel like maybe Lord of the Rings could be that way, where when he's describing a door, skip, 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 skip.
But you never know on what page he stops or at what point he
That's why
stops.
you just read
Right.
the top of the page and see if they're still talking about a
A
grandiose door
grandiose
or not.
door. He also like writes out songs, which are really cool, but it's like I don't know the tempo of the song, so I can't properly sing it in my head because I don't know what the tempo or the tune of the song
That'd be
is.
hilarious. Like
Write the music
in
down.
the index
Sheet
at the
music.
very end, it's like in the tune of Twinkle Twinkle
It's
Little
probably
Star.
it's
There are
probably in the
there are some books that do
Silmarillion. He
that. Yeah.
probably has like the freaking sheet music in this Silmarillion somewhere.
I'm learning to read sheet music, by the way. I
Hey, that's good.
This is a tangent.
I've known for a little while, but I'm trying to get back into it
I
because I'm a
need to
little rusty.
remember how to read sheet music.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I. There's some new stuff on piano I wanted to show you, Matt, that I learned that I thought was funny.
Yeah. But another book that I've been listening to is an audiobook. I listened like 3/4 of the way through An Actor Prepares by Stanislavski. This is just about his acting method, basically, not to be confused with method acting, even though some people attribute it to him, but that doesn't, at least from what I've understood, seem to be attributed to him at all. Like he taught his method, the method, as opposed to method acting. Um, I'll find a time to listen to it, maybe on like next time I'm on a long drive. I just haven't. Every time I've like had the option to, I'm just like, let me listen to music or something else.
Let me listen to literally anything else.
Yeah,
That's my problem with a lot of things. I'm like, oh, I should probably do this. Let me find literally anything else to do besides that one thing. Sometimes it's subconscious. It's like I'm not trying to, but I'm trying to. But another thing I have actually a lot of movies. And we talked about it beforehand where it's kind of like whenever you just are half watching a movie, you turn it off, or you came in halfway through. I counted some of those because, like, especially now, we're going into October. And horror movies during October are all over the place. And it is
That is true.
so big, such a big thing that my parents would be watching something on, AMC or whatever, because they have their horror movie marathons. And I'd see half of it, the beginning, or I'd come down and sit down and watch the last half. Stupid shit. And so, like, I've never seen, and I have an entire, like, bullet point list of movies. I'm not going to name all of them. But I've never seen any of the Halloween movies, any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Chucky. I've watched half of a bunch of them.
I've never seen any of them just because horror isn't my thing. That being said, there was a phase that I went through when I was a kid.
Was it just a phase?
That it was just a phase. That like whenever I would visit like certain places for vacation when I had my phone, I'd just look up Wikipedia pages and read the synopsis of all those movies. So I know certain elements of them. I know that like in the later Halloween movies, it turns out that what's his name? Mike Myers?
Yeah, Mike
It,
Myers.
that or Michael Myers?
Yeah, because Mike Myers.
Because Mike Myers is the actor.
Mikey Myers.
That
Mikey Mike?
Michael is possessed by a spirit
Yeah,
that
he's like a
constantly
demon,
wants to
basically.
kill its own sister. And
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's why he's immortal and everything. Obviously that's all been retconned because the new Halloween movies that have come out, like the last one and then the new one that they announced that's Halloween Kills or whatever, all take the place of Halloween 2 and now Halloween Kills is Halloween 3. But I know some of that. I know some of the stuff from Nightmare on Elm Street. I know the basic premise of Freddy versus Jason. I know the fact that there's a whole bunch of uh, Friday the 13th spin-offs that's like, what if Jason was in sci-fi movie? What if Jason was in New York City?
Oh my
And all this
God.
other stuff.
Have
Yeah,
you?
there's a clip of him kicking like a trash can out in New York City, and that's one of my favorite clips down on the internet.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Not
I know all
really,
these things just through Wikipedia articles, but I've never actually seen the movies. I don't know if that counts as
No.
But I just thought that was an interesting tangent. I've never seen those movies, but I know so much about them just because Wikipedia articles.
I'm a fan of horror in the sense of like I love hearing about the production of it, the details, you know, how they got different things to happen, all the different shots they take. I think that like the art of horror is very interesting to me. I don't watch a lot of it. Like I watched through with my dad. We watched through all the Insidious movies. I'm pretty sure there might have been like a new one that came out that
I
didn't
don't
get to
think
watch
there
with him.
has recently.
And I'm a fan of like the Saw movies. But like we talked about this earlier with the movies. I don't think I could mentally like at least, you know, if we're talking about, you know, watching them in passing, you know, it's a different thing. But even then I feel like I have to sit and watch through unless there's something else I'm doing. But I can't like watch a movie and not complete it because my brain's gonna be stuck on it.
That's why
Those-
I don't really have anything for this. If I'm sitting through a movie, I will finish the movie
Those
even
movies are
if I'm like
trash.
halfway through it.
Those movies are absolute garbage. That's why. That's why
See-
I will get up and walk out.
I mean, fair enough. But
That's the
I
thing.
will finish the movie no matter how bad it is if I'm sitting in the
I
middle
don't
of it.
watch horror movies
Unless it's just something random. Like say my parents are watching a movie on TV. I go downstairs to eat lunch or dinner or whatever, and I'm already looking at my phone. I'm not really paying attention to the movie at that point.
The only time I'll leave a movie in the middle of it is if I'm rewatching a movie.
That too, yeah.
I never left a movie out of a theater because I don't go to theaters often enough. The movies I see in theaters are usually good movies. We know they're going to be good.
I've only wanted to once.
And so the thing is that whenever it comes to movies that are just on TV, yeah, I'll swap to a different show or movie because I'm like, this is stupid. And then whenever it comes to horror movies, especially during Halloween, yeah, I'll just up and walk away or I'll show up halfway through, stuff like that. I hate those movies. They're all trash. The only horror movie I actually enjoy is The Thing. And that's because it's not just a slasher, it's psychological. You know, oh, who is it? You know, there's tension. You know, it's building up. It's sort of more of a thriller. I like Alien. Alien's a pretty good movie. First Alien,
Alien is very, very good.
and then Aliens becomes more of a slasher.
It's not even that. It's just an action movie.
It's just an action movie
It's just
until
an action
the
movie.
last half, and then even the last half, I guess there's parts.
There's in after Alien, there was never another like horror alien movie until like the most recent one that they did,
And that's something else I was going to bring
which
up.
was the sequel to Prometheus, which is also a horror movie.
I
but
actually watched Prometheus halfway through and then left.
we had it recorded on our DVR, and I just randomly watched it. I sat through the whole thing. It wasn't great though.
I left after the chick cut herself open. That was gross.
Oh yeah, because she cut herself open to get
To
the
get
alien,
the alien
out.
out. Yeah, and I thought that was gross. I left, and then I also I didn't even see the new one, the
Yeah,
newest
Alien, whatever it is.
Covenant.
Yeah, Covenant. Yeah, that's what it
never
is.
never even watched it, but I saw like a review of it and was like, yeah, I'm happy I didn't watch Prometheus.
I had an interesting reaction to Prometheus because like I knew it was a bad movie, but I at the time I didn't know that like the AVP movies weren't canon. so when it was like, oh, Prometheus is like the start of the aliens, I was like, okay,
Like,
this will
the
be
Predators
interesting
were
to see.
supposed to make the aliens.
Well, yeah. It was like the fact that the Predators weren't involved at all. I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Well, no, my thing was like the fact that the aliens existed in ancient Egypt, according to like AVP.
Yeah.
Or not ancient Egypt, maybe a different
Yeah,
civilization.
it's a different civilization, but ruins kind of like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yet in the distant future is when the first xenomorph is being created. But those aren't canon, so it was just a poor movie.
It was just a poor movie. Yeah, I have. There's not a whole lot of movies that I have left through, halfway through, but the majority of them are horror movies because they're all trash. Fight me.
That is fair. Like I said, I don't watch that many horror movies. I did watch Us. I've seen Alien. Alien's good. I've seen Aliens. Aliens is good. I think I didn't see like the first part of it because I like popped in towards the end, but I did watch the whole thing. There are a few good ones, but yeah, most of the main ones that aren't really that good, but they're just memorable because for the time they were freaky and stuff like that. I just saw them online. I know we were talking like an episode or two ago about AVP, and we were talking about the origin of the Pred Alien and stuff like that, and I was explaining that I think someone got like I think Quentin had mentioned that the Pred Alien that there were 3 movies.
Yeah,
And we were like
yeah.
there were 2 and I was correcting him. Have never seen those movies. Like I said, I've just read the Wikipedia articles and that's how I knew. The Wikipedia articles have never seen those movies.
The Wikipedia articles have never seen them.
No. I said the Wikipedia articles, comma, I've never seen them.
Okay. I was like, the Wikipedia movies don't even, or the Wikipedia article doesn't even know about
But
it.
yeah, I just have read the synopsis. I've never seen them. I don't feel like I need to, honestly.
I have one that you guys might have something to say about.
Oh boy.
I've never and have no desire to see all the way through Solo.
That's
I
mean,
saw the first half,
I don't really.
and I have no idea
care.
how it resolves.
I think Solo's a decent movie, but I don't think you have to finish it. I feel like it's definitely the weakest of the new ones. Honestly, I feel like it might be the weakest of the ones that are not bad because I don't think Solo's outright bad or anything. I just think it's mediocre, you know.
I
Do you
get
know about the like twist reveal at the end?
Nope.
Do you
Just look it
want
up
to
and you'll
know?
be good.
I'm sure someone betrays someone else. Someone kills.
No,
So,
that's what
dude,
we're not. That's not. We're talking about
It's a reveal
it's-
like
it-
connect.
yeah.
You just look it up. You'll know it.
Okay,
You'll know
cool,
it. It's not
I
that.
guess.
It's not that important.
It's like a cameo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never saw it all the way through. I watched it halfway through and then left the room and was like, guess I won't know what happened.
I
to
do
that
feel like that
guy.
cameo was very weak and kind of forced, though. I was like, okay, I mean, this is cool, but like, eh.
I mean, I like that they still are doing things with it, even though.
Yeah, I like that they acknowledged it because it does make sense in
Well,
that time
my thing is
period.
like because of Rebels, it felt like, oh, now they can't do anything, but they're still finding ways to do things. But one topic that I wanted to go on that I'm not sure if Quentin was gonna segue into just because of the nature of it, but anime.
I was gonna go into TV shows if you want to connect the two. I can't really
Sure.
compare to anime except for I started Attack on Titan, watched 2 episodes, and was like, nope.
I will never finish Attack on Titan. Actually, that might not be true.
Are
but
the creators going to ever finish Attack on Titan? Because they said this was. Then they said it was the final season.
and then they said
And
it's
they were like,
actually part
"Oh,
1 of the final
This is
season.
part 1 of the final season. Part 2 is gonna come. Like, come on.
I know about certain twists in Attack on Titan because of the manga, and I've read the manga and seen how certain things go with certain characters, and I'm like, I don't feel like I have the need to watch the anime. In that case, I feel like that's cheating because I already know how it ends, so I don't have to finish it, but maybe I'll get to it. Probably won't.
Not really a spoiler alert, but I guess
Anime-
just like a knowledge of near ending stuff. Warning for anyone who's trying to catch up on Attack on Titan and cares that much. I need Levi to die, please. I'm getting tired of him.
Dude, that's like
Why are
That's
you
like a
tired
fake
of
person.
Levi?
What the hell?
Because he
isn't
gets-
Levi the fan favorite?
No, actually, it might be. I don't know.
I know he
But-
used to be. I don't know how people feel about him now.
The thing
because
is,
I've been
he was a fan
so-
favorite because he was badass and had like a distinct personality with his like cleanliness and stuff like that. But the amount of stuff that this dude survives is getting irritating. Mainly because nothing gets done because he survives. Like every time the quote unquote villains make a plan, Levi surviving, like shuts everything down and nothing moves. It's like, come on now. Like, dude, just fucking die. You're a side character. You have literally you have no significance to the plot at this point, but to die. Like you were like the mentor for
Why won't
the
you let
other
me die?
characters, and now the other characters are grown and doing their own thing. The mentor character is supposed to be dead, right? Like, why is this old man still here? And he's
It's
like
terrible.
invulnerable. You don't watch the show. You'd understand where I'm coming from if you watch the show.
No. I get what you mean. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
have no
anime
idea.
is in this weird space where there's so many things I have to watch. I technically the only one that's really there are Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia. I haven't gotten through. I hear that My Hero Academia has gotten very, very slow as of late. Though I do know that the next arc they're about to do is some wild stuff. So hopefully stuff picks up next season. Whenever they do that arc, I do hear the movies are good.
I mean, we talked about like our preferences in media, like episode 1.
Yeah.
Villains are my bread and butter, and the villains in My Hero just aren't doing it for me. So I like stopped season 1
I will get
after season
back.
1.
I will probably continue watching it eventually. It's just anime is kind of on the back burner because there's so much anime I want to do. I kind of want to finish all the Western stuff I have done because there's less of that, and most of it is finished. So I won't stop mid-season for something, and then all of a sudden now I have to watch a different show. So I feel like that was kind of the thing for anime. I will say I do have a normal TV show. I have mentioned it before, and I will likely mention it again because I talk about it all the time whenever I talk about stuff that is slow. I will probably never finish Walking Dead because the first season of Walking Dead is way too slow and way too boring for my taste. I know it's supposed to get interesting eventually. I couldn't get that far.
I feel like Walking Dead is one of those sort of like the Skyrim answer where it's like, yeah, I mean,
It's over when you stop watching.
yeah.
Yeah, my story with The Walking Dead ended when Negan showed up. So in my understanding of the show, everyone died. Negan just survives forever. He kills everyone. That's what he does.
The comics are better anyway.
Do you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't technically finished The Walking Dead, but I've gotten my fill of it basically.
It's still going on.
Yeah,
There
that's
are
my thing.
new
It's like
episodes.
I'm
Now they have the
content.
spin-off show.
Terrible.
Apparently Fear the Walking Dead is better than the normal Walking Dead show now.
I watched the first season, and then never again. I don't think that it was all that great. I mean, I see what they were trying to do with that first season, but I don't know if they continued it on second season, third season, fourth season, whatever season they're on.
I don't know.
I had on TV shows, if you're done with anime, you weeb.
I am not. I said one anime.
So that was the one, right?
Actually, I don't even know if I did say one. We talked about Attack on Titan. Fairy Tail I didn't like, so I didn't finish it. Dragon Prince, the one by the people who made
Does that count?
That's
Because
Avatar Last
just a
Airbender.
show.
I was gonna say if we're still talking about anime and that counts, can we talk about Avatar?
I mean, we all finished Avatar, right?
We did, yes.
We did all finish Avatar.
I mean, you haven't
Well, I
finished
haven't finished
Korra.
Korra, though Korra's probably the first show on my list of things I'm going to watch.
You don't have to finish Korra.
You don't have to put yourself through that. I saw a
Genlock. Sorry.
I saw a video online. It was an interview. I say interview. You know those things they do on like Wired on YouTube where they have an actor come on and like answer Google's questions of them.
Yeah.
You know, what is this actor doing and stuff like that. They had Daniel Radcliffe come on, and this was like a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, something like that. So it was fairly recent. He was talking about the new season of his show that he's in, you know, on TBS.
Miracle Workers,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one of the questions on there was somebody asking, does Daniel Radcliffe watch anime? And he's like, oh, no, don't watch anime. He's like, unless you count Avatar Last Airbender, does that count? That was brilliant. And I'm like, even Daniel Radcliffe thinks that counts. Come on. Everyone tells me it doesn't.
It doesn't count.
If it doesn't, then I don't watch anime at all. Never really.
We know this. This is not news to me
But
and
if I wanted to
Matthew
be a
that is
part of the
surprising.
club, if I wanted to be a part of the club,
You won't be.
oh well, okay then. Gatekeepers.
You won't be until you
Damn.
actually watch anime.
I like how you said gatekeepers, like you got two bouncers at the door. It's just Estefano.
I just say watch anime,
got
and then
two
you can
Jack
say you
Blacks
watched
at the
anime.
door. Two Bowsers.
What?
Bouncers.
Bouncers and Bowsers.
It
I'm like,
being
why is that
anime,
what you said?
It being anime is purely dependent on the location of which that show was developed. In terms of like, if it's Japanese, then it is an anime. It was made in the West. They had a Japanese studio help animate it, but
They did. You're right. That's why I'm thinking.
What about Ruby?
Ruby is not an anime. It is also a Western attempt
Is
to
it
make an
based
anime.
purely on
That
region and
that
not the
is-
fact like Monty owned?
That is what I have gathered from all of the people who have tried to define what anime is. It is purely region.
And people are gonna hate you for saying that.
Oh, I'm
They're
sure.
gonna be like, no, it's whoever the creator is, or some other.
Ultimately,
bullshit.
I really don't care.
So Avatar is anime then, huh?
It's all. I mean, just because I don't want you to say that you've watched anime, I will say it's not an anime. But beyond that, ultimately, it's all shows. It's all shows here. It's a good show.
Go ahead with what you were gonna say, Matt. You actually had an anime.
I mean, the Dragon Prince was one that I do plan on finishing. Then there's just like a bunch of ones that I just didn't vibe with, like Bleach, Soul Eater, Sword Art Online. They just anime that. I mean, Sword Art Online was like my first anime.
Did
or,
you
like,
say
the first one
that
get
you
me
liked
into
like the first 1.5 seasons and then you fell off?
Yeah, I like the first season and I like Gun Gale. But that's about it. Like, I don't even know if it probably is still going on. I don't know if it is.
It is, because there's like 5 million video games
Oh.
of Sword Art Online. You see them all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw someone the other day on Steam like pop up. They were playing some. It wasn't Sword Art Online. It was something else that reminded me of it. It was like, fuck, what was it? It was like gun painting network.
I was trying to come up with the same. I was trying to come up with the
fucking-
same bit that at the exact same time as you.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was something with gun, and it was pretty much using Sword Art Online, using the same terminology, the same meaning behind the words. But it was gun something network. I don't fucking know. I thought it was
Nice.
weird.
Gunpla Network or something.
I don't fucking know. I don't remember. I just saw it and was like, "What is
'Cause
that?"
those are the people that make. Those are the Gunpla are the people who make the. What are the figures of the. What am I trying to think of? The freaking robots that are-
Gundams?
Yeah, they make Gundams.
I had to look it up. I had to Google it because I was like, "What is that?" And I Googled it, and yeah, it is a spin-off of Sword Art Online. Okay,
All right.
cool. I guess that's still weird. The name.
Did you watch Cowboy Bebop yet, Quentin?
No, I saw something about it though. As in, like I saw.
I saw a post on
you-
Twitter.
Like,
Didn't know what it said. I just saw Cowboy Bebop and scrolled on by.
Oh my! I saw the name online. I Googled it. No. I didn't watch it, but I saw a video that had a fight scene from a movie. Was there a movie of it?
Yeah,
Okay, it was probably from the
I
movie.
think so. Pretty sure. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
there was.
It was a fight scene that looked like it was more cinematic than a show, so it was probably a movie.
I don't know. Cowboy Bebop was pretty cinematic, but I think the last anime that I have is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You're in the middle of watching all that
Technically,
with your roommates, right?
Every time
No.
someone tells me to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I add another year to how long it'll take me to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Every time someone
I'm
tells me to watch
on-
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I strike a JoJo pose.
I'm on part 5, right? And I think part 6 or 7 just got announced.
Part
I think part
6, I think.
6. But my
About
favorite part is part
diamonds
2.
or something.
My favorite characters were in part 2. I love the way part 2 was, and like everything after part 2 was like like it got further and further away from it. So it's just like I'm not feeling it, man. Like the fact that each season are like a new set of characters. Sure, technically my favorite character is like in those, but it's not the same. It's like I don't care about any of these people, dude. Like part 3 was entertaining. Part 3 was good, but part 4, I didn't know what's going on. I don't really care about those characters. Part 5 is the same thing. They're like introducing new characters. And like I don't care about this set.
I
But
don't even know what the show's about except for all the posing and
Stands.
it's a bunch of
you've talked about the creator a few times how he just likes macho man stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's just
You know
the
Persona?
JoJo's family.
You know Persona? How they
No,
have like
I
a
don't know Persona.
and then they have like that persona does damage for them.
That
that is what JoJo is. It's just
that
that,
is-
but they call them stands.
That is JoJo's part 3 onward. That is
Yes.
not. There is an entire other gimmick in parts 1 and 2.
Yes.
And then-
but modern JoJo is just technically
Yeah.
Persona is JoJo because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has been around for a very, very
I
long
don't like
time.
that comparison because what I do know about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'm like, I don't want that anywhere near my
JoJo's
Persona
Bizarre Adventure has some
5.
style. All right, every now and then it pops some style for you. I mean, part 4 is like very stylish.
I heard
very
a
cool to
song.
watch.
I can't remember what it was. It was somebody's theme. I don't know if it was you that sent it
If
to
I
me.
played it for you, it was the opening for part 2, Bloody.
I
Bloody
think
Stream?
you sent it to me, and I actually listened to it because I was like, okay, it's a theme. It's not a meme song. And I was like, this is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't the best, but it was okay.
Yeah, those bangers. But those are all the anime that I have on my list.
I have one that you guys might think is weird that I have because you either have seen it and think it's weird I haven't, or you have not seen it and think it's weird in the same way I think it's weird. So what I have here,
I'm just trying to figure out what it could possibly be.
Pause for effect.
Matt
Pause, hold on.
Matt and I gave each other a look of confusion.
in comedy, it's all about timing. so I have here, and give me a minute before I'm going to say the name, and then I have something to say. Okay, so don't just attack me immediately. Total Drama
You
Island.
fucking.
Total Drama Island. I watched the first season of that show when it came out, back when it first
How is
came
that
out.
weird?
Because the thing that's weird is I thought that the first season was stupid. I thought the whole show premise was stupid. So I didn't watch any more of it after season 1. And then now it is everywhere. Now it is completely everywhere. There are memes. There are people talking about it again. What is that all about?
Because it
Just
got put on
because
Netflix.
Yeah, well, that, and also because it was like it's one of those shows that just showed up on TV. Like, I don't consider that in like the list of like, oh, you haven't watched all of Total Drama Island, you fool. It's just like
I just thought it was
something that
weird.
came
I
up on
see it
TV.
everywhere now.
Matt was looking at me whenever you were like doing your little defense of Total Drama Island, as if you having watched that show is a sin. And he like points at me and him. He's like, "Are we Total Drama Island fans? Like, why would we care?"
Well, because of I know that I'm like got the persona of the old man, so I'm sitting here like
I feel like
what is
Total
all this,
Drama
this,
Island.
just Drama Island shit.
I feel like Total Drama Island falls into not the same, but a similar situation as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where I think you can count each season as its own thing. I think less so because Total Drama Island kind of has characters from the original later seasons, but each season is kind of its own self-contained thing in the sense that each season is its own competition.
I
mean,
guess my
was
question
meant to
would be
be-
why is it big now other than it's on Netflix? Is that
Just
literally
memes.
it?
It's
That's
just
all it-
memes.
that's all it
It's
takes.
just
I
people
see
resaw
people
it.
A
all over
childhood-
Reddit bringing that shit up, and I'm like,
Do you remember Clone
what
High?
happened?
Remember when Clone High got like big with the memes and stuff?
I mean, like 2 or 3 memes, yeah.
No, it got huge
I
for like
only
a
saw
minute
like
because
2
it
or
got
3, and they still
it got
persist. And I
re-released.
liked a few of them, you know.
Well, I mean,
I like your
that's
fancy words,
that's
Magic Man.
well, that's a similar situation to me because you're talking about all these memes you've seen with Total Drama Island, and I've seen a couple. I haven't seen that many.
Oh, I see them all over the place.
It's just
I thought
it's
it was a
just-
new big thing that was happening with it. That I'm like, is this like
No.
a part of the culture now?
I think
No.
they did like get like some series is getting announced for it just because of
yeah,
the
yeah,
popularity.
they're rebooting Total Drama Island.
But just because when you release the episodes that are part of like a generational childhood thing, it's gonna get big with
Yeah,
memes.
a
Because
lot of people our age watched Total Drama Island when they were growing up.
Okay, I feel a lot better now. Okay, because going into this, when I wrote that down, I was like, I was like, maybe they're gonna be
I mean-
upset that I don't know about the cultural zeitgeist behind this fucking show.
I mean, just
Like-
think about SpongeBob. It's just people liked that show when they were kids. They have memories of it, so
I
they
fucking hated
mention it
Total
again.
Drama Island. That was a stupid show.
I mean, even if you don't like it, it's
If
just
I don't like
a,
it, no
it's-
one can like
it's,
it.
It's just it lives on. There's a lot of stuff I remember from Total Drama Island, and I didn't even
The
like
only
that
things
show.
that can exist are things I like.
Like I remember
Total Drama Island helped build my
who
sense
was
of comedy.
who was the
That explains a lot, Matthew.
who was the nerd who like he was a redhead and he had glasses or whatever.
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember what I have his like image in my head. I don't remember his name.
So I remember that he cheated like the week prior because everyone voted him out, and then
Yeah.
he like switched all of the votes so someone else got voted out, and then the next week he got voted out. But in that competition, I believe Brittany or one of the popular girls got their shirt ripped off. And so at the end of the episode, when he's leaving on the boat, Matt's nodding because he knows exactly what I'm gonna say. He's like very resigned to his fate, and he just goes, "I saw boobies."
And that is why for like a year I wasn't allowed to watch that show because my little brother was in the room when he said that. And my little brother was like, "What are boobies?" And I was like, "I'm not answering that question." And so his head ass decided that going to mom and dad and asking about it was the better option.
But yeah, like there's certain things. Like again, I didn't watch that show. There's certain things I
I
remember
thought
about
it
that
was
show.
so stupid as
And
a kid.
and again, I've only seen that episode once. Just for whatever reason, that just sticks out in my head. I know about I think Owen won the first season, and then I remember I guess to make things interesting, Owen was the first one to get kicked off in the second season. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I just remember about that show.
Well, then we can move on from this because I guess it's not as big a thing as I thought it was.
No.
But the next one I have, which is actually the last thing I have written down, I'm sure there's other ones that I can think of off the top of my head, but the last one I had written down was American Horror Story. That's what it's called, right?
I've never even started those.
I watched one season, and it wasn't the
one
first
was it?
season. It was the third.
What was the theme?
Witches.
Okay. Coven or whatever
Yeah,
it was.
exactly that one. I watched a bit of that. I didn't even watch all of it.
I know the names of them because in college there were like a few people in one of my classes who were friends of it, and at the time that was when they were pushing I think the season was called like Apocalypse or whatever, and that
remember
was
that
when they
one.
were gonna have like the crossover of
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
different seasons. So they were naming the seasons. That's how I know. I also remember there was Asylum because
That's the one that I saw advertisements for
yeah, because I
nonstop.
saw a lot of advertisements for it because Adam Levine was in it, the singer from Maroon 5.
I just thought that was insane because of all the advertisements for it. I'm like, what is this show?
A lot of the early seasons of American Horror Story had like a celebrity guest in them. Like I think, like I almost said Britney Spears, but it wasn't Britney Spears. Like I think there was just like a lot of. I think Miley Cyrus was in one or something.
I have a friend.
don't know what. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, what do you not know?
I don't know what American Horror Story is.
Okay, yeah, it's
So-
a show where they have a bunch of actors that play different characters every season. So you'll have the same faces playing totally different characters every season.
Yeah, it is. It is an anthology show, but it's like it's not.
That's a good word.
Like each episode of the show is different. It's each season of the show is different.
Yeah, so every season there's a story being told, an overarching narrative. All the characters stay the same; they are the same people. And then the next season, we act like none of that fucking happened. Same actors playing totally different characters.
So there's
I like the idea of that.
there's Coven, there's Asylum, there's like Carnival, there's like a whole bunch of ones that they did.
Yeah, so the bad guy in one
Interesting.
season could be a good guy in the next.
It's kind of like the like Haunting of Blank House series on Netflix.
Yeah, Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah,
Haunting
where
of
where
Bly.
where each like movie or whatever, it's the same actors playing different characters.
Yeah, got you.
But
Okay.
I think it's an interesting idea,
Yeah.
and that's
I
why I
always
watched
thought
that
it
one
was-
season.
I always thought it was Goosebumps. It was like just a series of like it was just adult version of Goosebumps as
Nah,
a kid.
kinda is.
Goosebumps doesn't have the same characters or same
No,
people,
no.
actors. That's the word. Yeah, so I just had that. I'm sure I can think of other shows that I've started and not completed, but if you guys had anything to say on that or anything to add,
No, that's about it for me.
All right, I'm finished.
okay, well then I think that's actually going to wrap it up then because I don't want to sit here and be thinking for 5 minutes about another obscure. Actually, you know what? Actually, I got one. I got one. Real quick, just real quick. I started, and think I said this last episode. Started and did not complete the Clone Wars show. Star Wars Clone Wars. I started watched through season whenever it was on TV. I watched to season like 4 or 5 whenever they first hinted at Maul coming back. That's when I stopped watching it because I was like, this is stupid. And then I tried to rewatch it whenever it was on Disney Plus, and I got to season 2, and then just stopped watching.
Yeah,
So fans, we're going to be having a vote as to whether or not we're kicking Quentin out. If you could please leave,
I
we're going to
know
leave
for
a comment.
certain
I'll second the vote.
I know for certain I will get through that show because I feel like my
You haven't?
frustration towards it, like my whole like this is stupid. They're trying to advertise to me that Obi-Wan is dead. Like I know I went on a tangent about it last time, but I feel like looking at it now with different eyes, I feel like I'll be able to enjoy it a lot more. I enjoyed aspects of Rebels. I feel like Rebels is one of those shows that has like the episodes that are good are really good, but just surrounding it is so much mediocrity. And
Fair.
there are only a certain amount of characters in that show that I really care about and are interesting. So whenever you focus on other ones, it's like I don't care. But I feel like I would really, really enjoy Clone Wars if I sat down to watch it. I don't know when I will. I will eventually though. I really do like Ahsoka. I like a lot of Ahsoka's stuff. I've seen a lot of episodes of Clone Wars and a lot of episodes of Rebels. I've just never seen them all the way through.
Okay, well, Matthew,
I will
gonna be mad
never
at us
in
for
my
that.
life watch the Resistance show though, because that show's animation style just looks bad.
There's another show.
Yeah, they made a new one, but it's not the same people, and the art style looks really really bad. It's so you know how it each one has been in a different time period. So like you had Clone Wars, and that was prequels. You had Rebels, which is before the sequels. Well, but before the originals. Well, they had one that was called like Rise of the Resistance or something like that, or just Resistance, and it's before the sequels, and
I
it's
hadn't
just
even
bad.
heard of that one.
It's just bad.
It's
It
just bad.
the art style in itself does not no. It doesn't have the like one of the things that like above all else, at least Rebels kept the same kind of flair and style that Clone Wars had. The Resistance show is just what if we had that but everything was brightly colored and does not have the same depth.
Did you say Rebels has the same style as Clone Wars?
Well, in terms of just like it looks the same, you know. It,
What?
like that CG kind of
I
style.
thought you were meaning like in feel.
No, I'm talking about like visual art style.
Really?
Like art
I think
style.
they look totally different.
No, yeah, I'm talking about art style. If you look at Rebels and you look at Clone Wars, they are the same art style.
I'll say okay.
I mean, even now the lightsaber. We'll have this conversation off of
We'll
the
have this
podcast.
conversation. Estefano won't be here next podcast.
Oh no, yeah, the lightsabers are different, but just like that like the 3D style is similar.
So to wrap things up, I want to do 2 things. Something I just thought about. So Slim Master Matthew, I want you to with your recommendation, like first say your recommendation, and then I want to know if you were to play a character in a Mario movie.
Oh no.
Who do you think you'd play?
Well, my recommendations are watch Castlevania. That is a good anime. I'm currently watching it right now, or I guess I don't know if it counts as an anime. I don't know about the production of it.
I don't think it is, but I mean,
also
technically it's based off of a Japanese game.
Sky, Child of the Light. That is a cool free game that is on mobile and Switch, and apparently PC.
Matthew, if you don't say the same character that I'm thinking of, then you're lying.
I actually would play Birdo as you could. No, Waluigi.
Yep, there it is. Okay, yep.
Thank you.
You are correct.
Wow.
That is just factually true. You would be Waluigi.
Okay, then thank you for that, Waluigi. Estefano Esquire the Third. What about you? Recommendation and who would you play?
Okay, so I have a lot of recommendations. So if you want to go, then you can go.
Okay, so my recommendation, I actually haven't really done a whole lot recently. I've been working on music mostly. I would recommend listening to music, a lot of it. It's really nice. It's really therapeutic. Or sometimes, you feel badass if you're listening to something really badass, I guess.
Like metal music
like
or
metal
something?
music, yeah. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing. If you're listening to that death metal, maybe you feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't listen to death metal. I don't know. So that would be my recommendation. I think is music because that's what I've been working on for a week. The other thing is if I was a Mario character in the new upcoming movie, I think we can all agree I would play an amazing Mario. First of all,
Mario?
Mario Jumpman Mario.
Take that M and turn it upside
Oh,
down, and then we can agree.
Come on, dude.
I was gonna say just put a mushroom hat on top of him.
I think that's worse than what I said.
No, these fuckers take our land.
I think you'd be a better Wario than a Mario.
I'm not leaving without you, Toad. I fucking hate you guys.
You did it to yourself.
You know you shouldn't have touched Mario.
I'm not even gonna touch Mario.
I do like the idea of Wario, except for I'm not like him, but I can.
That's pretty good.
I can play Wario. Cast me in the movie. Come on.
So like I said, I have a lot of recommendations. So some of these I'll try and be brief. Some of them I'll explain a bit more. Shang-Chi is a phenomenal film. I would recommend it to everyone. Obviously, right now, at least in the US, cases for you know what are kind of going up a little bit. Maybe you might not want to go to the movies. Unfortunately, it's coming to Disney Plus a while from now. It's like November 15th, I think
Yeah, I
they
saw
said.
I saw that yesterday whenever I was watching the What If. Yeah.
Though I believe it still comes to like digital, so you can like get it on like from Redbox or whatever, probably
Bet.
middle of next month or October, so mid October. That should be good. I highly recommend it. At least in my opinion, it's probably the best Marvel solo film, period, or at least maybe since I don't know, maybe since Iron Man. I don't know. It's very very good. I would highly recommend it. It is a phenomenal film. I would also recommend Star Wars Visions came out this past week. It is excellent. I don't think I feel like a lot of the episodes might be hit or miss. Obviously, if you don't like anime, some of them are more anime than others, so you might not like them as much. There's a specific episode that I didn't really vibe with because I felt a lot of the episodes are shorter. They're 15 to 20 minutes, so that one felt very rushed. My only recommendations specifically are if you are going to watch it with subtitles, just know there is an episode, I believe it's episode 7, called Toby. I watched it on day of release, so maybe it'll be fixed by the time you watch it, but at least on release day, it did not have subtitles, so you're gonna have to watch it dubbed. That episode is not bad dubbed. I think the dub is good, though that is also the episode I believe is rushed. And if you are going to watch it dubbed, so with English voices, I would highly recommend you watch episode 2 with subtitles because there is a song in that episode, and from what I've heard, the Japanese to English translation of that song is not great. So I would still recommend you experience that song as it was originally intended, at least. Those are the only recommendations I have per episode. I think the show is phenomenal. There are certain episodes of that show I hope get turned into future things because they feel like pilots or episode ones of content. Just incredible. Whoever had the idea to give these animation studios the rights to the Star Wars RP or the IP, beautiful.
The Star Wars roleplay.
the effectively the Star Wars IP, genius. They deserve the biggest promotion on the planet because it's brilliant. Also, I think it's really funny. Almost every single episode references kyber crystals, and I'm like, Japanese sure love that. Next, this is probably the bigger one. Recently, or at least a few weeks ago, I was playing Kingdom Hearts 1. I replay that. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite game series. I replay Kingdom Hearts 1 every 2 to 3 years because it's not necessarily my favorite in the franchise. It's the first one, so I feel like a lot of the games have grown since then. That being said, having replayed it, I have had a better appreciation for it, and I feel like that game is very much what the essence of an action RPG is, or at least what it used to be. There's a lot of things it does that the future games don't do. I feel like maybe someday I'll do like a retrospective or something about the series and have a lot of stuff to talk about in specific there, but I would most certainly recommend it. It's also the most simple of all of those games before everything got messy and convoluted and anime-like. Lastly, though, is I finished Spiritfarer yesterday. I've been playing it for a while. Phenomenal game. For those of you anime fans, I'd say it is pretty much the video game version of Angel Beats. Very emotional. I it got me a little bit at the end. I didn't outright sob like I did in Angel Beats because
Oh
Angel
no,
Beats
you
is
ugly
just too
cried.
much. Oh, I
You
ugly
ugly
cried
cried.
I ugly cried in Angel Beats. Um, but Spiritfarer didn't get me too much. But Spiritfarer is a very good game. For those of you who might be a bit more sensitive to death and to certain things that happen to the elderly, I might say don't play it because that might bring up some bad memories and give you a bit too much of an emotional roller coaster because some of that stuff is referenced or involved. But beyond that, it's a phenomenal game. I understand why it was nominated for Best Writing, I think it was, at the Game Awards. I understand now. But ultimately, that's it. As for who I'd be in Mario, I feel like it'd either be Toad or Luigi, I guess maybe, just because I'm a bit of a wuss sometime. But I think Luigi's probably the most accurate, maybe. But
Okay.
that that's about it.
You would just be like the normal people in Mushroom Kingdom, just toads walking around.
Yeah, I'm either Toad or I'm Luigi. I think it's one of those two.
Okay, you're either a commoner or next in line to the throne.
I don't know if I'm next in line to the throne. Luigi gets shafted all the time.
I mean,
He got a whole year dedicated to him, and that was the worst year Nintendo's ever had. So
what were you talking about? The year of Luigi?
yeah,
That was a thing?
they had a year of Luigi where
Oh
like
man,
there was like a whole thing that they did, and that was like the worst year for Nintendo ever.
that's sad. I didn't know about that. Okay,
Yeah,
good to know.
it was like in the middle of the Wii U era. So
Oh well, that's why.
yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, that's great. I'm. It's good to know that we have you as a Toad, me as a Toad, and Matthew as Waluigi. What would we say? I was Wario. I like that one better. I think that's funny.
Honestly, I feel like me as Luigi and Matthew as Waluigi is funny considering a while ago I called myself the Puerto Rican version of Matthew.
Oh, I remember that.
So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so me being Luigi and Matthew being Waluigi and just being like opposites of each other kind of fits that narrative.
Great, great. That is episode 4 of our podcast. We have an Instagram now, correct?
Yes,
Okay, cool. What is that called, Matthew?
the media buffs.
The Media Buffs on Instagram. Cool. And we also have a Twitter. What is that, Estefano?
I believe it's just at Media Buffs, but if not, the link will be in the description.
Everything will be in the description. Just trying to cover all of our bases. I'm actually going to put these on SoundCloud, starting with this one. And so going forward, all of our stuff is going to be at SoundCloud at Media Buffs or the Media Buffs. I don't know. I have not made it yet, so it's possible Media Buffs is taken. We'll find out. I'll also link that in the description. Everything's
And
gonna be good there.
hopefully soon we will also be getting a TikTok where we will be, posting little clips or just random stuff that we do that is funny.
I have an idea of what we can put on there.
Oh yeah, let's just say we had a whole tangent before we even started recording regarding Chris Pratt Mario, except it wasn't Chris
It
Pratt.
wasn't Chris Pratt. Yes. So we will have all that whenever we get them created. We will put them in the description. So even if you go to former videos, they will be in those descriptions as well. And with that, I think that is everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final goodbyes.
Well, we'll see you guys. We will see you a few weeks from now.
Wow.
Wow. No, I'll see you.
Oh, and also, just one quick thing. If you guys have any suggestions for podcast topics, put them in the comments or on Twitter. I will be, as I am the helm, as I am the main person who controls the Twitter, I will occasionally be sending out, requests and stuff. So if you see one of those, just make sure to request or to make your recommendation, and we will try to credit you if we wind up using your topic, or if like 50 million of you all say the same thing, then we'll like have to say a few of you and just say a lot of you did. But
Yeah, the 50 million people we have on Twitter.
oh, of course,
Yeah, all the 50 million fans we have.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we're so popular.
100%. Yeah. Well, with that, I think that is goodbye from me.
That's goodbye from me.
Wow.